Were they doing anything to help the process along? Were they...
Oh, certainly not at that stage. I was in contact with them in that first week. And so the urgent care visit was on a Monday. And I sent a photo of like the diagnosis to a MrBeast producer.
Right.
And so I'm sure it went into my profile that I have a concussion. And I spoke to 2 producers that week when they called all the contestants and checked in with them. One of the producers did ask in about me. She sent me a text and I said, you know, I'm fine. Because at that point, again, and you know, again, I'm trying to be positive. And I still was so much a super fan.
We do have to pull out MrBeast though, because we are talking about Jimmy. I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but unfortunately, chat, another MrBeast Rosanna Pansino victim has been announced. New victim just dropped, okay? Amanda now suffers from traumatic brain injury. There's a traumatic brain injury that has occurred. Okay, guys, so we're investigating the Beast games tonight, and the reason, like, I haven't covered any of this stuff. I really mean it when I say that I've seen nothing here. I haven't watched any of the stuff we're gonna look at tonight. I have 3 little windows here, right? We have the MrBeast window, then we have the Beast Games window, and then we have the MrBeast victim testimony video. And we're gonna go through each individual section, hopefully to try to figure out what's gone wrong. Full disclaimer, Jimmy texted me like 4 days ago and he sent me something that I can show on. I don't know if I'm going to show it. It depends on how relevant it turns out to be because I literally don't know if it's super relevant. But he did send me something. So I just want to point out immediately that the deep state has tried to intervene. And I was so fucking lazy and I was so bored of this drama. I just didn't do anything with it. I was like, yeah, I'll probably cover this soon or something. And then it's been like 5 days and I haven't watched a single thing about it yet. So if I am like biased Beast affiliated media, I'm not really doing a solid job at it.
Can I say something to you, Nick? I really like you.
Gotta be honest,
Why?
I kind of ignored him. Yeah, Deep State reached out, point taken, but again, I don't know anything about this story. We're gonna really react to this tonight. This is like a solid, legitimate first-time look, even though it's like a 5-day-old story. Amanda now suffers months later from a traumatic brain injury competing on MrBeast's new show, Beast Games. This happened during the Briefcase challenge. The challenge seems to be very poorly designed with not enough safety regulations or oversight. So this is the woman, 50s? Is that fair? 50, maybe like 52? This is 40s, but a lot of filters. Why didn't she give her filters so they could both look like AI generated? 55, probably. It's like they used all the AI filters on the left side of the photo. 50s, 60s, I think, is Amanda on X. So yeah, this is the first major cog in the chain here. There's a whole YouTube video that I have just... I've been itching to watch it, guys. I've been itching to cover this. I've been super excited to watch this new Rosanna Pansino video. And oh God. This is fantastic. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. Let's get in here.
No one referred me to nurses or to the ambulance or anything.
So we're just front loading this. That's not a cut. That's just how the video starts. For all I know, this woman is a legitimate victim, so don't spoil me, chat.
And no one referred me to nurses or to the ambulance or anything else. I didn't know I was kicked because apparently I blacked out momentarily and said, you know, I think I have...
So she suffers a head injury, blacks out, and then she's out, I guess.
a 1-year recovery.
A 1-year recovery from a traumatic brain injury, okay.
And so...
Did she have like a brain bleed? All right, so what is a traumatic brain injury? Did she get like... When I think brain injury, I'm thinking like I watch a lot of Dr. House. Did she get rushed to the ER or something?
Right.
It's not who you are.
So devastating.
By the way, let me know if the volume is crazy.
So devastating.
People are saying concussion. Okay. Does she have like the long COVID, like post-concussion syndrome?
Okay. I will not get emotional.
In this video, I'm going to be interviewing a woman named Amanda Rose.
By the way, in case you wanted to know, this was timed to drop, coincided because I noticed it was like the day that MrBeast thing came out. I was talking to, I don't know if it was Chud Logic or something, and they're like, dude, the MrBeast drama is dead. Nobody's talking about it. What are you going to do with your video? I go, oh, don't worry. MrBeast's new show comes out on the 19th, which means Rosanna's new video drops on the 19th, which means there's at least another week worth of dialogue to be had before the story gets boring again. And boy, was I correct. It's a big shocker to everybody here, I imagine, that Rosanna had a video queued up to drop the day of the show's release.
Who competed in MrBeast's Beast Game.
How does she have a brain injury to do this interview even though it hasn't been a year? I mean, I don't know. To be clear, half of these people that we talk about probably have some form of brain injury.
She
Half the people in chat probably have a brain injury. No, I'm kidding.
suffered a traumatic brain injury during the games that continues to negatively affect her life many months after competing. Amanda has a PhD in political science and is best known for her online community, Eat Like a Bear.
What? Eat like a what? Is this like a carnivore diet person? Is this like the liver queen? What is this? Happy crazy thing happened in a little Facebook group. Oh, she's got a PhD. She's a doctor.
Where she shared her weight loss journey with the world. This continues to help people, especially women and older women, to lose weight, eat healthier, and be more active. However, because of her injury, Amanda is unable
I don't get the correlation to bears, so she loses weight. That's her thing.
to fully do the work that she did before the Beast Games.
Okay.
She told me her financial situation is the worst she can ever remember because of her injury. I'll be starting a GoFundMe to help with Amanda's recovery and treatments. If you'd like.
Wait, I'm sorry. She needs a GoFundMe for stuff from a year ago? How has she been paying the bills up until this point?
Like to support her, I'll put a link down below, and all of the money, the profits go directly to her and her.
Does she not have like insurance? Don't they cover stuff like this?
Recovery. So YouTube's most
Isn't there like, wait, is this woman part of the lawsuit? I imagine she's got to be part of the lawsuit, right?
successful creator, Jimmy Donaldson, MrBeast, has his own version of real-life Squid Games.
I'm sorry, just to be clear, I am a little biased when it comes to people asking for money on the internet, because there's just so many cases where it's like a person. I will disclose that bias. Whenever I see people like asking for money on the internet, I'm immediately like, okay, what's going on here? Because about half the time it's just some scumbaggery occurring.
Beast Games coming out now. Beast Games has received a lot of negative press surrounding things such as many injuries on set, lack of
Many injuries on set.
access to medication, and in some cases life-saving medication, understaffed medical crew, multiple seizures, misplaced undergarments.
Wait, what is multiple seizures? Do they like flash a bunch of lights and laugh as people start twitching? Is that when, or did people just get seizures while they were there?
Rude staff, unfair
Many people are saying, by the way, I am many people.
advantages in the game, lack of background checks for some contestants, inadequate food and water at some times, and much, much, much more. Now, the new development of this has honestly left me even more disappointed. MrBeast recently released
Oh, don't lie. You're not disappointed. You're giddy like a motherfucker that somebody's come to you being like, oh my god, my head hurts. You must help me now, Rosanna.
a statement.
I will help you. I will help you now.
About these accusations saying, quote, "We have tons of behind the scenes dropping when the show does to show how blown out of proportion these claims were. Just can't release now because it would spoil the games." Now, it doesn't take a genius to realize that dropping some behind the scenes footage is
Wait, oh god, are you really preempting this?
not going to actually address all the accusations. They will most likely post highly curated clips attempting to make
Alright, so this is obviously some, there is some swaggetry afoot here, all right? There's a lot of swaggetry going on. So the biased source is telling us that the other source is indeed biased. Yes, we're going to watch this background MrBeast footage. Obviously, this is just what he wants us to see. Obviously, it's not proof that the entire thing is going to be safe. That's why I wasn't sure if I even wanted to watch it. I don't really think it matters from that regard. But the most biased person here, who hangs out with disgruntled employees who's published false information about people telling us that other people are biased, is really funny to me. All of these people are bad faith actors for providing the truth. Jimmy, because it's obviously in his best interest to hide anything negative, if that is something that's occurring. And obviously Rosanna, because she is a disgruntled former employee who has been proven time and time again to have less than reasonable motivations to be pursuing this situation.
Themselves look good. Do you honestly think that Mr. Beast will release footage of people getting
Hi, Aiden. I forgot. I'm permanently banned in your chat. Anyway, I'll see you next month.
injured on his set? Do you think that he's going
How many accounts did you ban me last night on? 4? All right, so 4 months. I'll see you in 4 months.
to release footage of the crew member who nearly died from a piece of the set falling on him? I don't think so. Jimmy, if you are telling
How come we're not talking to those people? Apparently there's so many people who've been injured. This is the first interview I'm seeing.
the truth, let's hire a third
It's just like I'm interested in hearing about the person. I'm not really interested about her preemptive well poisoning side story here. All right, we're getting started now.
that these stories are blown out of proportion. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Amanda to hear her story. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how it came to be that you ended up on the Vegas portion of the Beast Games?
So I decided to be on Beast Games. It was June 1st of this year. It was my son's first day of summer. And we were just like,
It was my son's first day of summer? Dude, what does that mean? It was my son's first day of summer. Did he decide that was when summer began? Or, like, what the... All right, to be clear, this woman has a traumatic brain injury, apparently, so we shouldn't laugh, all right? We shouldn't laugh at this. This person is sick.
laying in bed together, watching Mr. Beast overtakes
No, like, out of school. I'm aware of what she meant, but that was very funny.
T-Series.
Am I gonna bully her the entire time and she has a fucking brain injury and I'm gonna look bad?
And we were just laying in bed together, watching Mr. Beast overtakes T-Series.
He's 15. Well, he doesn't decide. I don't care how old he is. He does not decide when summer begins, ma'am.
And so just in that cultural lore of YouTube, and in the process, we ended up deciding that I would apply to be a contestant on Beast Games. And that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But actually it involved Matthew Patrick, so Matt Pat. So I did this great little pitch video because I'm actually a PhD political scientist, and
Right on. Awesome.
Well-
Go you. All right.
And long before the Game Theorist YouTube channel was founded by one Matthew Patrick,
What the fuck does Matt Pat have to do with this?
mathematicians for years had been using game theory, and economists, political scientists, sociologists use game theory in their own research. And
Okay. I'm actually a little shocked here. So usually when I see like an old person, they're like the perfect topic for, like, they're a perfect person in here because I don't really understand like the internet lore. I'm getting the vibe that this person is pretty dialed in. Like, they're well acquainted with the internet and people involved.
I had used it in mine. And so my pitch video to Beast Games was,
Huh.
you need a real game theorist. You need a PhD game theorist on the Beast.
Wait, what?
Can we get a Bo Black's plush sale check?
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait. Jimmy, you need me in this because I'm a real PhD game theorist. Like, you have Matt Pat, that's fine. He's like your run-of-the-mill Stolen Valor one. I'm a real game theorist. Okay.
Beast Games, because you have all these people on the internet playing game theorists. And so that was the essence of the
Are you telling me that the guy who said the villagers in Minecraft are Jewish aren't licensed to be doing game theory?
pitch.
And
it
I
worked.
love it because you guys have met before. You've met Matt Pat and stuff at like different meetups, conventions, things like that.
That's right, through the years. And so it was actually one of my quests to get selfies with them each year.
What? Fuck, I'm sorry. I was unaware that this is the turn the video would take. It was my quest to get selfies with Matt Pat? Okay, cool.
And it was one of these little challenges by my son, who's now 15. But this started when he was about 10. And I would get, I would meet up or, find them in the hallway or whatever it was.
I would find Matt Pat in random locations. Guys, I don't know what I thought this was going to be, but I didn't realize that we were doing the Finding Matt Pat.
Have some chance encounter and get a selfie. I went to Vid Summit in September of 2021.
Yeah.
And I was wearing,
How old is this woman? What the fuck? Dude, honestly, I'm about it, though. I think that's cool. Maybe. I don't know. It's a little stalky, kinda, I guess. Like, this is the woman who shows up in the hallway. Like, I need to see you, Matt Pat. Hang out with me at VidCon. But, like, I mean, it's cool if you're, like, interested in stuff younger people are interested in, I guess.
The Matt Pat jacket, because I knew Matt Pat was giving a keynote. And of course, what better way to get my selfie for the year than to...
Okay, that's a little... My yearly Matt Pat selfie. It's like, Matt Pat, it's time, sweetie. We're taking a picture.
Be wearing the jacket. And so he...
But does she, like, bake him cookies and stuff? I feel like this could be not weird. Could you imagine if she, like, comes up with a tray of cookies? Like, Matt Pat, it's time for our yearly selfie.
He saw me. I was, I don't know, 30 feet away. And with this bellowing voice of Matthew Patrick, he says, nice jacket. And so I went up and I got a photo.
Bellowing voice. Okay, this woman has a crush on Matt Pat. That's what I'm bellowing voice.
With him, but he was standing next to Jimmy Donaldson. And so they then did a little video together with a shout out to my son. And there I am wearing the red Matt Pat jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? This is weird. This is getting a little weirder.
So there's a long Matt Pat history with us, and also interweaving with MrBeast. And so it was a really great moment to...
Matt Pat has a nasty voice. You are a liar. Matt Pat has a symphony in his volume.
To go on Beast Games as a contestant. And I was mic'd by the producers. There were story producers at Beast Games that identified, I don't know, 40, 50 contestants who were probably like the good storytellers, I would imagine. The story producers actually came up to me.
I'm kind of shocked that okay, I don't want to sound like ageist or something, but I'm shocked that Jimmy selected an elderly woman, unless I'm completely off about my predictions on her age. It's shocking that Jimmy picked an elderly woman for any physical activity. That seems like a very stupid decision. I figured that a majority of these contestants would be between the age of 18 and like 40, maybe.
3 or 4 of them, and they knew who I was, and they came up and they said, "We know your name. You're Amanda, the game theorist."
Love.
Ah. Yeah, okay. The game theorist.
Love it.
And I'd already decided I don't want to run around Beast Games as the game theorist. I feel like that's...
Am I going to hate this woman by the time this is over? Honest question. That's the only spoiler I'm asking for tonight. Because I'm really... I don't know which direction this is going to go. Am I... Yeah, everyone's saying yeah. All right, well, I'm giving her a shot.
Kind of boring and just academic. So I decided I need a game name for Beast Games. And so I went in as Mama Bear.
I went in as Mama Bear. That is like the stereotypical mother name, to be clear, but... Sounds like you should have gone in as Mama Cougar.
You did not.
Matt Pat! Where's Matt Pat?
Yeah, no, I was Mama Bear at Beast Games. Yeah. Yes.
I was just joking. You're such a mama bear. You literally even have a mama bear necklace. Like, that's your vibe.
Well, so I am also the founder.
So she, like, her whole mama bear aesthetic comes from Jimmy? Like, and her challenge.
Of a community
That's
that is
good.
called Eat Like a Bear. The community formed around my weight loss. Back in 2017 to 2018, I lost 140 pounds.
It's amazing.
There
it's
you go.
Incredible.
And that's a whole other story.
Do you think Rosanna would compliment me as well? Do you think she'd be like, wow, Nick, that's incredible?
But we have a lot of sort of bear lore in our community, so it was such...
We have a lot of bear lore in our community. Is this a video about someone getting a traumatic fucking brain injury? I'm actually so confused. When are we going to learn the bear lore?
It's a natural thing for me to go to Beast Games as Mama Bear.
Person?
I
Who is
love
Monkey King?
what you stand for
Nicholas
and
DeOrio?
the story that you were kind of bringing to the Beast Games.
Well, so I did enter Beast Games with a very positive and also maternal outlook. I had contestants coming up to me because the name Mama Bear really caught. And
Oh my god. Wait, what is happening right now? This is 7 minutes into the interview and she's just doing a self-glaze. When did the fucking... I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a dick. Can we, like, move to the traumatic... I got a stream to run here.
you know, it's harder to remember, you know, oh, his name's Tim, or that's John or Susan or something. I had all kinds of people saying, hey, Mama Bear, there's Mama Bear. And they would come up to me and confide in me, you know, I'm scared. And, you know, what's going to happen? And I would say to them, you know, your mind only has room for so much emotion. Fill it with excitement.
What the fuck?
There will not be room for fear.
So when you first
This person is fucking crazy. This is a crazy person. I would be startled right now if I sat down for an interview and this was the first 7 minutes. I would have cut this whole part out of the VOD and only included the parts about her testimony. Is that malicious? Would that be a malicious thing to do? Maybe it would be. I would be kind of uneasy interviewing someone like this.
arrived, what was your experience before the game started?
The signs were all there, Rosanna, in the very beginning, because the day I was supposed to fly to Las
This is like the cornercade interview. Fuck you!
Vegas, I was supposed to fly out of Fresno.
Yeah, it is, because we just sat there for like the first 5 minutes talking about nothing before we started getting into it. But again, that was like a potentially hostile conversation opening up on like a easier note, because that guy doesn't really know where we're going with this. This is an extremely easy conversation for this woman. This woman could say Mr. Beast raped and killed 3 people on set, and Rosanna's going to report on it. Absolutely. She'll be like, there are allegations that Jimmy himself raped and murdered 3 people on stream. This is the opposite of a hostile interview.
To Las Vegas, and we were supposed to get a 2-day advance on what our itinerary was. And I was supposed to fly on a Tuesday. Well, Monday night at midnight, I get my itinerary, except it's not mine. It is for a woman in Indianapolis. And so as a result, I don't know if she ever made it, but I didn't have an itinerary. And so I immediately emailed them saying, what's my itinerary? And it was supposed to be the next day.
Yeah.
And so didn't hear back. I went to sleep and woke up that morning and thought, if I don't hear anything by 9 a.m., I'm just going to drive. It's a 6-hour drive. I'll drive.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear anything. And so I emailed them again and said, hey, I'm driving. I'll see you there.
What a mess.
Because at that point,
What a mess. It seems like there was like a minor scheduling conflict and the wrong information got sent over when they have multiple employees and like a significant, tons of contestants and multiple employees. This doesn't seem like a woo.
they did tell me what
thing.
hotel I would be in. And so I just,
Right.
Google Maps.
Oh, okay. So you had your hotel, you knew where you were supposed to be going, so you went to your hotel. Okay.
And, headed to the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas and showed up, was the only one.
I can't, would I be more or less critical? If anything, I don't really think I have a problem with anything she's said in particular, but Rosanna is just such a dog shit interviewer.
One parked there because everyone else had flown in.
To me, this already shows
Yeah, of course it does, Rosanna. Anything she said, you would have said this already.
And showed up, was the only one parked there because everyone else had flown in.
To me, this already shows disorganization, just even with basic travel. This is awful.
Awful? Well, okay. Don't you think you're kind of showing your hand a little early? This is awful.
And now looking back on all
Worse than Oompa? Dramatically. Yeah, absolutely. Oompaville gave a shitty interview. This woman is giving, a malicious interview.
all of it, just how ridiculous all of this was. And, I was so dedicated. I was just so dedicated as a contestant and
I didn't get my itinerary. I knew where my hotel was. I reached out to them. They didn't answer. Oh my God, this is awful. This is terrible. How could they have done this to you? Are you okay? Are you going to make it? This is just kind of weird.
it's just like the super fan mom living in this great story. And I'm going to overcome all adversity, even if it's jumping in the car, and finding the Luxor myself and not worrying about that flight or whatever. And so, because it becomes an important detail that I did actually drive to Las Vegas because
I sent you the wrong person's itinerary.
Oh my God, let it go, Rosanna. She's trying to tell the story. You just keep looping.
They can't even keep people straight, even
Way to go.
before it's even started.
well, and they did finally respond to my email, but it was 6 p.m. that day.
Oh my goodness.
And so I would have
Oh,
long
so they did respond. Awesome.
missed the flight
Right.
and all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you drove yourself.
I did. And so it's an interesting point because as we'll discuss the incident of the concussion itself,
Right.
but I drove myself back with a concussion.
Wait, I'm sorry. You took a traumatic brain injury and you drove home with your concussion. You were able to drive home? Excuse? Oh my God, bro. Wait, what do you mean?
Oh my gosh.
I didn't actually realize I had the concussion until I had driven myself back.
Oh my gosh.
I was still
You went on a 6-hour joyride back home with a concussion? And that's what...
and the adrenaline of the games and didn't imagine I had a concussion.
To be that you might not know at the time. Yeah, absolutely. I think, like, I've seen people get hit in hockey. They're concussed or whatever. But, like, a 6-hour drive, that's a little...
I had no exit medical care from the games, despite the point that probably dozens of people saw me actually kicked.
I don't know. I guess when I saw traumatic brain injury, I wasn't expecting a concussion. But I guess that fits.
And no one...
I didn't expect drove all the way home in a 6-hour ride with a concussion to be the traumatic brain injury. I'm kind of whelmed.
referred me to nurses or...
You think it's CTE, I guess, yeah.
or to the ambulance or anything else. I didn't know I was kicked because apparently I blacked out momentarily. And so I just drove myself home because what else would you... You know, I didn't imagine I was injured. I didn't imagine it.
Wait, you blacked out? I guess I blacked out.
There on the I-15, I started getting extremely sleepy, like so sleepy. I have never felt that sleepy in my life. And I'm there on the open highway just struggling to keep my eyes open. And it's so horrifying as I think back on the multiple risks to my life that happened
dangerous.
as a contestant.
So you find out you're on the show, and what was your understanding?
I mean, it's pretty reasonable. I don't know how this happened. It's pretty reasonable that, like, someone should have checked her out, right? Unless it went completely missed. Someone probably from Beast should have checked her out before then.
Of what some of the challenges might be.
Yeah, I assumed it would be a mix of mental and physical. And I entered knowing that I was in
Who the You just gifted a membership and it hit Smaggle. Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Smaggle, for finally being a member of my YouTube channel.
the bottom, 10% in physical. I mean, especially given the age.
There's like 2,400 people, and your gifted membership hits Smaggle.
It was mostly young people and mostly in very good shape. But I thought, okay, but if I bring enough of a mental game, I can probably find my way through. And so I expected to be challenged and expect.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say you thought it would be a mental game?
But if I bring enough of a mental game, I can.
Did you think this was going to be an exam? Why is there an elderly woman engaging in a physical activity against like teenagers and like young adults?
Probably find my way through. And so I expected to be challenged and expected
really
that there
lolly?
would definitely be people who would be faster, of course, and would have other advantages. But we all have our own little bucket of assets we play in something like this, and so we just need to find.
This is like the.
I don't respect you. So I respect
This is like a children's cartoon where like a nerd goes up against a jock and uses math to win the fucking challenge. Actually, you know what this is? Did anybody see the new Spider-Man Homecoming movie or No Way Home movie when Doctor Strange is in the universe thing and then Spider-Man's like, "This is calculus. I've defeated
What is
you."
Bunty King to you?
That's what this is right now.
Who is Bunty
You know what I'm
King?
talking about? When they're like in the train is bending in the air and he's like, "Haha, Doctor Strange, I know that you've been in this world for years and you know everything about it, but I've used calculus to defeat you."
Find what's going to work best for us.
The
and just
mirror dimension. Yeah, she's in the mirror dimension using calculus to beat up Doctor Strange.
play our hearts out. And so that was what I was prepared to do. And I was ready for hardships. I mean,
I was not far from home, sir. Doctor Strange was in No Way Home, but I appreciate you trying to out-Marvel me here.
I have hardships in my own life. I've overcome a lot of hardships. And so the first morning, we were in this hotel conference room with no chairs. We're just sitting on the floor and just meeting people. And
Is it a geometry? Yeah, I think it was. He was using side angle side.
we hadn't eaten.
Right.
And so we just sat there on the floor, no chairs, no nothing, for hours. And,
Oh my gosh.
and yeah, it was not the best in terms of like being hosted or whatever, but I felt like that might have been intentionally part of the vibe of getting us ready for something that would be grueling. Like, okay, I'm here for it. I can sit on a floor. And so we transitioned from the hotel floor to Allegiant Stadium.
Right.
We did an orientation there.
Did you have the opportunity to stand? Like, did you have to sit on the floor? Or were most other people standing?
And they fed us our first tiny little meal. Oh my goodness, we could talk for hours.
Like, you must sit on the floor. Or, like, most people are just standing and talking. And, like, you're sitting on the floor.
About like truly the
say
food
something to
was
you, Nick?
austere.
I really like
and even for me, but for some of these bigger guys,
Yeah.
it was kind of ridiculous, but part of the game, maybe. And so there we were. It was quite an adventure. We had our first big challenge the first night, and it is where there were 5 teams that pulled these giant rocks weighing, I don't know, 10,000 pounds or something like that. We can check the footage of the games as they're released. And that was,
Spoiler alert,
I was on the green team, because there's
I was on green
stories
team.
about how there was a team that was eliminated that was mostly women, and complaints about that. And it was very clear to me when I realized that.
Well, hold on. It doesn't matter if you have women, okay? Because you have a game theorist. All right, I understand. Well, women are at a distinct disadvantage when it comes to physical attacks, but you actually have a mental warrior on your team, so.
How that game was going down, that I needed to get that green vest. And so I got the green vest.
Yeah, do they have a game theorist on the team of jocks?
And so I was one of the slower people there, one of the older people, but I did manage the green vest.
Yeah.
How many old people did Jimmy invite? That's actually a decent question, I think. Thank you so much for the gifted. Oh, why are we muted?
Accomplished and having gotten. So I was one of the slower people there, one of the older people, but I did manage the green vest.
Yeah.
And so there I felt, very accomplished and having gotten through that first challenge.
Yeah. Right on.
And so then we slept on the floor of Allegiant Stadium. By then, I think we went to sleep at about 6 a.m. So it was daylight, and they gave us sleeping masks so we could sleep in these sleeping bags on the floor of the stadium. And I probably got a few hours of sleep. And then we, kind of woke up, strolled around. That was the phase when there were a lot of people.
So again, I haven't seen the Beast games. I'm not watching that on Amazon. It's probably not targeting my age demographic. Who knows? Maybe I'll throw it on during fucking Christmas or whatever and just watch it in the afternoon when I'm bored. But when it comes to, oh my God, Cats a Flock and 20 memberships. Holy fuck. Thank you. When it comes to like the challenges, I assume the reason why they're sleeping in sleeping bags is part of the challenge. Like, I understand it's probably after the events take place, but I assume that's part of the challenge because we know that he's willing to put, like, entire teams of people in, like, hotel rooms and stuff. We found that out this year, that he's put entire teams there.
About getting their medications. I was definitely aware of people, firsthand in there who were actively trying to get their medications and were not able to get them. Luckily for me, none of that impacted me. I don't take any medications, and I was fine. And so sleeping on the floor, it was not a big issue for me. And so I was still in really good spirits about all of it, still really enjoying just meeting people and discussing, just having that shared experience with people. And everything was good at that point.
So you got through the first round, and then was the next game the suitcase game?
Yeah, the briefcase game.
Briefcase game.
And so, and he actually sells those briefcases now. So you can buy those briefcases at Walmart. And so I do think that this briefcase game.
Wait, what? Wait, what briefcases can you buy at Walmart? MrBeast briefcase? Thank you, somebody. Sorry, I have it on mute right now because there's a ton of gifted coming through. But, MrBeast briefcase, $50. This is what we're talking about here. You can buy these MrBeast briefcases. The ultimate gift for the Beast fan in your life, packed with surprises and pure awesomeness. A mystery collector's item straight from an actual MrBeast video set. 3 drool-worthy Feastables milk chocolate bars, which is probably worse than your average chocolate bar from, what's it, like Hershey's or something. I'm not a fan of Feastables, to be clear. Limited edition Beast Lab toy designed to bring the wild world of Mr. Beast straight to your hands. I'm guessing that's this thing. 6 total piece, all in-house reusable briefcase, perfect for storing your epic loot. Okay. I guess that's that. I don't know. I wouldn't buy that for $50 personally.
Was partly a marketing.
Yeah,
I do think this briefcase game was partly a marketing tool as
this whole thing was a marketing tool. Like, what do you mean?
well. And so all the moms out there can buy their kids a briefcase. And let's think about that for a little bit as I tell.
Wait, who cares? Yeah, of course. That's exactly what it is.
The story.
What do you think that, like, child's television is? What do you think Yu-Gi-Oh was? Yeah, look, I really like Pokemon, but I do think that, like, that card game Yu-Gi-Oh is, like, something out there so those moms buy those for their kids those cards or whatever, or, like, Yeah, it's children's entertainment. You know, I really like Spider-Man, but I really do think they give him a new suit in every movie, so the kids have to get that new action figure, right? Like, look, I understand why they went to change him to like a black and gold thing and then put him back in his regular suit, but I really do think it wasn't necessary for the story. They probably just did that as a product placement.
The Briefcase game, there's surely now footage about it as all this
Hey, that's just like a literal who cares.
comes out.
You know, you're just supposed to tell your kids, no, you can't have your 7th Spider-Man toy. No, you don't need a briefcase, child. You need, like, clothes. You need new shoes. You don't need a Feastables briefcase. I'll buy you a chocolate bar on the line on the way out.
There were 4 teams.
4 teams.
4 teams of approximately 400 people each.
400 people each, about. Okay.
Yeah, because there were approximately 1,600 contestants at this phase of the
Wait, 400 people each? So he was balancing fucking, what is that? Hold on, that's 1,600 contestants.
game. And there was essentially a game board that had 400 briefcases in a grid pattern, and 50 of the briefcases had a sign in it that was red that said eliminated, and 350 said safe, and they were green. And so the trick was to get a green briefcase, and then you would move on to the next round.
So when you're looking
Whoa, what the fuck, Smaggle?
Can I say something to you, Nick?
Oh.
I really like you.
Why? Okay, never mind, you're good. Never mind, you're good. I thought Smaggle was deleting donations. No, he was deleting someone replying to donation. I'm sorry.
at them, can you tell which ones are red or green?
So that is
Wait, at 7:22 in the latest MrBeast video, you can see Amanda there opening a red briefcase. So was she eliminated here? That doesn't make sense.
So for a job producing, I really like.
Why? MrBeast. At 7 minutes, apparently she opens a briefcase. What was it, 7 something? 7:22?
Is this really lolly?
3, 2, 1.
Where is Amanda? Oh, she's on the bottom right.
Can I say something to
Red
you, Nick?
briefcase.
I really like you.
Why did you get
Yeah, it's right there on the right side.
Can I say something to you,
Well,
Nick?
another 50
really
players
like
were eliminated from the green team.
So she was eliminated here, I guess. She was eliminated like a non-physical thing.
the entire game right there. They put a digital map
Can I say
up on the
something to you,
wall
Nick? I
for
really like you.
maybe a minute
Why?
before the game, and then they turned it off. And then the digital map would flash up on the wall, and you could see where the green ones and where the red ones were.
She was
And
out
say
right
something to you,
away.
Nick? I really like you.
because what you would
Why?
need to do is mentally map those briefcases.
Yep.
I was assessing where
Wait, I'm sorry. So it was a mental game where you were like trying to assess where the briefcases were and then follow them. And then our game theory fucking person failed.
on that perimeter would I have the least competition. And because
Dude, she's using the big thinking thoughts.
I was looking at, there were some groups
Can I
of,
say something
you know,
to you, Nick? I really like you.
Why? Thank you, thank you.
big fast guys. Do I want to go in their area or, you know,
Do I want to run toward the biggest, fastest men to try to take one of their briefcases? Probably not. That's probably not your biggest strategy here. Yeah, I would
how do
say
I
no.
want to handle that? I knew I was probably stronger on the mental game than I knew as
Oh my god, this is insufferable. I was a mental warrior. All right, fuck you, Mr. Steroid. I am here. All right.
totally weak on the speed.
Yeah.
That's fine. Let this fast guy
Stop saying big fast guys. I know what you're I know what you're referencing. Shut up.
get like the closer cases. But I'm going to map, like I'm going to map.
Dude, Ethan Klein's over there. It's like, all right, so there are these big black guys, and they're all black, and they're all strapped, and they're all going for the briefcases.
3, 4, 5 cases down the row and then just go and I'll get something. I'll be fine.
You strategically think where you're going to go, assuming like really fast young contestants are going to go for the
He was like, I don't know what you're talking about, Ethan. Oh, tell me you were not uncomfortable. And the big, strong black men were trying to get the briefcase. No, Ethan, I didn't have a problem with that. You're saying really weird things, Ethan.
ones right up front that you're mapping out the one that's a little further and you think that you have a shot at getting.
That clip is unhinged. It lives rent-free in my mind.
Yeah, I'm mapping
Yeah.
deeper into the game, and because all the fast guys are getting the first ones. That's fine. Let them
Yeah.
have it. That's
Yeah.
good. Fine.
I wouldn't get them either. I have little legs. So you're all there,
It's massive.
400 people about to go run for these briefcases.
Do you want me to pull it up? Do you want me to? We've been glazing Ethan for too long. We need to play this. Here, Ethan. Oh, here it is.
No! What is the video? Rolling.
Because I was like, they're like these huge black dudes, and they're all strapped. They were all black. There was like 10. I'm just saying, they were every single one.
Ethan, tell me about the contestants who were chasing those briefcases.
Responded by saying, maybe you lost subscribers because of this video. Oh no! What is the video? Rolling.
Because I was like, they're like these huge black dudes, and they're all strapped. They were all black. There was like 10. I'm just saying, they were every single one of them was black.
Okay. I don't even pay
You don't
attention
see
to color or
color?
anything.
If there's 8 dudes all in security and they're all black, I think that's worth noting.
I just noticed their suit. They were all wearing suits.
They were all wearing suits. Yeah, no, they were super
That
professional.
was nice.
And I mean, they were all like 6'5", black dudes.
You just keep saying it, bro.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Is this 6'5" black dude scare you more than a 6'5" white dude?
By the way, all the Ethan Klein haters or whatever were like, dude, this is totally fine when we posted this in 2020. And now they're like, dude, he was racist the whole time.
No. Is it supposed to?
I was almost trying to admit how I racially profile, like how.
Okay, we're good. That's it. We can go back to the video now. Sorry. My autistic moment is over.
And Jimmy, Mr. Beast, says no pushing, no kicking. What were the rules that he said?
Those are the only ones I really remember.
The rules were no pushing or kicking people.
It was like no pushing or tripping, kicking. It was either 2 or all 3 of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Wait, is that why she lost? She was going to grab the briefcase and then got her briefcase and she was kicked in the head, so she couldn't use her intense gamer mind to secure the correct briefcase and move on to the next round. Like, the only way to take out a woman of her caliber, who's such an intense game theorist, is to literally concuss her so she loses her one advantage.
and
That actually makes so much sense. That would be the strategy I would use if I was in the Beast games.
the rule was we would line up around it, and on the word go, we would make a run for it. And whoever touched the briefcase.
Yeah, she gave away her one weakness. She walked around and she's like, yeah, guys, I'm actually the brains of this competition. You guys have all your speed and stuff, but I'm actually the smartest one here. And then somebody immediately kneed her in the skull the minute the thing started. She never stood a chance.
first is the one who got it. And so some people looked like they tied. They would go back to the camera to see who touched it first. So there were some little rules like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of me and my injury, what I didn't appreciate is in this grid that there would essentially be cross traffic. This is a very important point. I was not able to view the game before my round. So when people watch the YouTube video, they are going to see the camera view, like the overhead cameras, and they're going to have a really good view of what happened. And they're going to say, wow, how did Amanda not imagine that there wouldn't be cross traffic or whatever else? Well, yeah, it's very obvious when you're looking from above what is about to happen. And in fact, that was the whole point of that article that came out of Las Vegas in September.
Wait, what? There's cross traffic? Where do they run for it? Mr. Beast. Thanks, Mr. Beast, to releasing the one valuable piece of the Beast games that can actually just pull up on stream and just watch. What the fuck is she talking about? They're going to show the overhead camera view. So this is the overhead view we're talking about here.
I had something. The red border, come on over. In front of you is a sea of briefcases. Some say eliminated, some say saved. On the Jumbotron, we goal is to memorize where the safe
Okay.
briefcase. All right, reveal the map.
Okay, the second row, 7. That's row number 7.
I hope all of you have a briefcase in mind. 3, 2, 1.
This doesn't look very difficult. They have briefcases right in front of them.
Go!
So this is straight. maybe I'm like a fucking huge asshole, but like, even from like an above view, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Yeah, there's clearly 4 locations where people are all running in a direct straight line. Did she think they were only going to go to their secluded sector and that nobody was going to run across the playfield?
Oh, it's like a sea of people. Oh, okay.
Can we see her getting kneed in the head? Where does this happen?
Oh, it's like a sea of people. Oh, okay.
This seems pretty straightforward. I'm trying to say, like, what are the major problems with this challenge?
I hope. 1, go!
She's on the green team? Yeah, I get that, but like, I'm just trying to understand the actual challenge. So yeah, they're doing, this is the green team, yeah.
Guys, studying it as hard as they can. Go! 3, 2, 1, reveal!
Like, the first one is just a physical challenge.
You pay attention.
All right, where was she? She's right by MrBeast's podium on the right side. In sight. At 724. So she's literally right there. Okay.
You go over there.
Yellow, you guys nervous? As hard as they can. Go!
So she's right behind Jimmy. It's not really easy to understand where exactly we are here. So she's on the right, we can't see her. Yeah, nothing. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to remove that section intentionally so we can't see it. Everyone is lightly jogging. I mean, it does look that way from here, but I don't know, dude. When people say, oh, it's just lightly jogging, they're not moving very fast. It's like, yeah, but I mean, that's just what you're seeing on the screen. Like, ice hockey looks a lot slower in, like, on a television than it does in person when you're actually at the game. It's just like the perception of the camera movements that can dictate speed sometimes.
Well, another this final round. Yellow team, you guys. Seconds.
Yeah. There's not really much we can get out of that. I just don't really know what she's talking about here.
For else. Well, yeah, it's very obvious when you're looking at the YouTube video, they are going to see the camera view, like the overhead cameras, and they're going to have a really good view of what happened. And they're going to say, wow, how did Amanda not imagine that there wouldn't be cross traffic or whatever else? Well, yeah, it's very obvious when you're looking from above what is about to happen. And in fact, that was the whole point of that article that came out of Las Vegas in September.
I'm not trying to like kink shame here. That's definitely not the right terminology, but like, you can't really have it both ways here. She's trying to act like she's a game theorist, like a super intelligent woman whose like whole thing is her brains. And then we're supposed to believe she had no idea that people would be running in a challenge where there's like running and that like they're all staggered in multiple directions where you can clearly see there are people on the left and the right running into the middle of a cube. I feel like you can't really have it both ways. Well, you're going to look from above and you're not going to realize that like, no, I don't know.
Remember the NBC affiliate.
Why did you say kink shame? Because I thought it was funny and then people would correct me and it would cause chat interaction to go up in this moment of the stream.
That article was about how the production crew was watching from the bleachers.
Yeah.
And they were horrified at what they were.
I mean, her whole thing is like, I am the most intelligent person here. That is why I'm here. That's what I have over these people. Also, I had no idea that the people would be running in the outskirts of the gigantic cube running inward and there'd be cross fucking like, I don't, okay.
Seeing.
Yes. I think that it's just awful that anybody's viewpoint is to blame contestants.
Chat, I just want to point this out to you as you guys are sitting here. I want you to know that when every time a YouTuber mispronounces something in a video, it's on purpose. It's specifically so you guys in the chat will watch that and you will correct them and you will put 17 more comments on the YouTube video. Like if I put it as like Rosanna Piscino or something like that, and people are like, excuse me, Nick, it's actually Pansino. You've just like infinitely boosted my video in the algorithm by just correcting me with an intentional mistake.
And not the game controllers, the people who are creating the games, executing the games, producing the games, running the games.
Not true in Keemstar. Excuse me. Nick Wait, Keemstar was calling Nick Fuentes Nick Flutie. He intentionally fucks up people's names on purpose so people get mad at him about it. He's not fucking stupid. He knows every single person's name. But for the first, like, 6 interactions he has with somebody, he intentionally calls them by the wrong name just to elicit a response. He does this all the time. Yeah, he is dyslexic and he fucks up common words. But this is also something he takes advantage of because he can blame it on his dyslexia.
Their responsibility to keep people safe, and especially not as much enforcement as they should have. And one of the contestants who I talked to said that she witnessed a male fully tackle a female, full body contact tackler knocked her out, and he was allowed to move on to the next round.
Was that person also eliminated? I'm interested to see, like, are there any people who succeeded in this challenge who saw somebody, like, full tackle and destroy a female and obliterate her through the wall?
I am so horrified because I've heard that story too.
Yeah.
And it only occurs to me right now that they may be talking about me.
Oh my god, wait, if they are talking about... That's actually so fucking funny because that just downplayed her statement. Because Rosanna wants this magical image of, like, a fucking linebacker crushing a woman, and then it turns out, wait, hold on, they could be talking about me. And then it's infinitely not that.
Because this is what happened. And it's
that just totally cucked her fucking allure. Like, oh my god, there was another incident that happened at the same It's like, no, maybe that is me. It's a full body tackle now. Yeah, the escalation. But I wonder if Rosanna knew that.
Being on the couch all these weeks and really, like, processing all this, that makes me even realize this. So, because what happened is I was there and I'm behind, like, some tall, fast guys. You know, he says, go, and I'm just running my heart out, you know, and I'm ready.
Jack Dittman said, Nick, you don't understand. If she didn't think of it, she would have been, she would have been a a statistical anomaly. She's so smart, she was thinking about it 6 hours ahead. True.
I have it mentally mapped. And so I'm running, and I never saw it coming. Because what happened was, just a few aisles down was this center corridor. Well, apparently
it just sounds to me like she has no peripheral vision.
Someone else decided to do was to run down and then cut in.
Run and cut, right. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just running my heart out. And when I just feel the poof, and so I mean, it's just so shocking. And I remember that, like, just my whole right side. And
you just felt that blow.
I felt the blow. And then
she, like, for one day understood what it's like to be an NFL, like, fucking quarterback.
I remember just I'm on the floor and realizing I could be trampled. And so in like strong survival...
Bro, she, like, literally was, like, caught in a 2004 Black Friday entry point to a fucking Best Buy. That's where she was. She got hit so hard, she was teleported back in time to Walmart on, like, the day of Black Friday in 2006.
Instinct, luckily, I scrambled up and I was able to get back.
Get the fuck out of the way! There's a TV on sale!
On my feet. And then just, I imagine that, you know, if we could see the footage, I'd kind of like to see the footage.
I would love for them to release all the raw footage.
We need the raw. We need
all the raw footage for the event, guys.
Raw footage. In fact, in the 2-hour video that I have on my channel.
I mean, won't it come up in the lawsuit over this? I assume this is one of the people that, like, why would Rosanna be interviewing someone who's not part of the current active lawsuit against the Beast Games, right? Wouldn't that make... I assume this is one of those people. So they probably would have to surrender that footage, right?
Yeah. I say at the end that Amazon needs to do the documentary and that you need to be the producers.
Oh my god, bro, you're kidding me. All right, now I'm not trusting anything. I'm sorry. Like, what do you mean? Rosanna needs to be the producer of the documentary? That's not a good sign. That's like the gif, like, oh, that's not good. I think that people aligning with Rosanna makes them infinitely less credible in this case. But I'm going into the rest of her story with an open mind. I just see, like, the shilling of Rosanna is a little wary.
I would love to do that documentary.
She said Amazon. No, she said Amazon, but then she said now Amazon should hire Rosanna Pansino to make a hit piece documentary on MrBeast. And there's no way I could just let that float off without pointing out how, like, ridiculous that is. That's, like, an insane thing to say.
If you ever have a change of heart and would like to work with people...
You don't understand. She has to show more people CP. You mean not CP. Okay, she has to accidentally not post what she thinks is censored fucking CP in a fucking video, dude. That's, yeah.
People who actually care about people, you let me know.
So yeah. So
Oh my
it would
God,
be
and she's
interesting.
encouraging this. It's so clear there's like a career move here for Rosanna. I'm gonna try to stick to saying all my mean shit to her because she's just like openly fucking like absurdly biased in this. Whereas like, I don't know, I don't want to like character assassinate this random woman fucking 20 minutes into learning who she is.
To see it, but I don't know if you would see those cartoon like stars going around my head, you know, on the footage, because it was one of those.
Because she just seems like somebody who's kind of stupid and got kicked in the head and has like a weird obsession with Nat Pat. I don't really necessarily like see malice here. A lot of these situations, it's like, I don't think Jake Weddle is like a bad person. I just think Rosanna has offered them something and like brought together a ragtag group of weirdos and gave them purpose. That's what I think is happening here. I don't think Jake Weddle is like a horrible, despicable human being. I think he's like a usable retard for Rosanna Pansino, who's obviously got a narrative.
Those moments
Oh
of like,
my gosh.
and so I kind of stumble into the aisle.
Was it a guy?
Okay.
Do you even know? Because you just got blasted. What happened?
I know his face, and I will tell you this because this is not actually in the 2-hour video. I am certain.
The what?
I don't respect you.
There's a 2-hour what? No, I have that on the docket.
And it was a guy, and I'll tell you why. I'm certain it was a guy.
Yeah.
So
Wait, I know his face, and now I'm certain it was a guy.
I kind of stumbled to a case because at that point it all happened so quickly.
Oh, I guess pronouns could be a thing. Yeah.
Everyone's at a case. And so
Chaos. Well, it's just chaos unleashed.
Yeah. And so I'm going down this aisle and then I see a case, you know, like over there. And it's just this one lone case. And I know it's a red one. And so I was stunned. And, you know, I felt sick. Like I didn't imagine my end was coming so quickly. Now, the thing is, I'm not a sore loser, any of that. I'm like, you know what? If this is the way it ends, so be it. I need to give my speech.
Yeah.
So they even have a speech that I gave there on the floor of that after being.
I'm guessing, like, how was she kicked in the head? Was she, like, knocked over and then kneed in the face, maybe, or something?
I don't respect.
Like, did this guy come out and just do a fucking huge karate kick and just impale her skull with his foot? Like, how was she kicked in the head?
Being eliminated.
While you have a concussion.
It's really,
like, I'm just thinking like Jackie Chan just does some flying fucking roundhouse kick.
Really what makes it scandalous because I gave that, though, you know, they're going to say, wow, she looked fine. Well, I'm sure I was in adrenaline or whatever else they did.
Adrenaline, dazed and confused. I mean,
well, and the reality is they had many people watching those cameras and they had me mic'd. The story producers were watching the mic'd contestants in particular, I think. And I told Carl Jacobs, hey, I just got knocked.
Dude, Carl Jacobs was worried about people investigating the symbol on his Minecraft skin. So I don't know. He had a lot to deal with at that point.
Down. Check the tapes because I was so much.
Why does this woman know every single like teenage to 20-year-old YouTuber?
Game.
This is so, dude, I was talking to Carl Jacobs. This woman's connected, bro. It's like when Charm Skull's like, yeah, I know Leafy and Sargon.
That I said, what if when I got knocked down, what if I touched the case before that guy did? And he should be eliminated instead of me. And so I told Carl.
He should have. There's no contact. He should have not pushed or kicked you. That should not have been allowed. That guy should have been.
Well, it obviously wasn't allowed, was it? That should not have been allowed. Okay. It sounds like that wasn't allowed in the rules established previously.
Eliminated.
He should have been eliminated. So I told Carl Jacobs, hey,
tapes, yeah.
check the tapes. He said, oh yeah, we'll check the tapes. Well, he never came back to me. So when they checked the tapes to see if I touched the briefcase first, they, I think, would have noticed that I got kicked in the head. And so how many people actually knew? And apparently if I am the person.
So I guess a lot of people's takeaway is that, okay, so she's just like a pissed off person here. But I do think it's reasonable if she was kicked in the head, if this did occur, that person should have been eliminated and she should have been allowed to continue. But she wouldn't have been able to continue because she was concussed. So I think it's reasonable of her to be upset that they obviously were supposed to check the tape. Now, whether they did or didn't is another story. But if they did check the tape and see if she got kicked in the head, someone should have probably pulled her aside and talked to her before they just sent her on her way. I think it's a reasonable complaint to have if you're this person.
Person behind the story of someone getting full on.
Again, if she's lying, that's to be seen. I understand that you guys have seen this or a lot more of this than I have, but that's just my initial assessment based off her claim here. I'm aware that we're going to be watching 2 more videos that might contradict anything that we hear at this exact moment, but where we're standing right now, that I think that is a reasonable position to hold.
Tackled. How many people actually knew that I got kicked in the head? Now, I didn't even know.
She isn't even sure she was kicked in the head. She just thinks she was. Okay. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'll leave that judgment to the end.
I was kicked in the head because, as an important point, I apparently did black out. So I remember.
All right. What is apparently did black out? You either lost time or you didn't lose time. Do you have a full recollection? Because then if you don't have a full recollection, then you blacked out. It's not a potential. She mentioned this before, and it was kind of weird.
The collision, like just the initial. And I remember being on the floor, and I know I scrambled up. And
So you were knocked down. That's definitely a thing that happened.
No, I remembered that there were feet at my head, and that is where I
Okay, so she doesn't know if she was kicked in the head. She just knows there were feet at her head. So she was knocked over, and presumably, I mean, I guess it has to be a head kick, because unless she ran directly into a truck or whatever, and his fucking nipple muscle or whatever knocked her unconscious, she was probably kicked in the head. I think that, I don't know.
That's when I'm better get the heck up. And
it's very clear that she doesn't really know what happened while she's explaining this.
Oh, I did not know.
She has no proof whatsoever. I imagine she's going to show some sort of anything that corroborates her diagnosis here.
Oh, I was kicked. I didn't. They did an exit interview.
Again, it doesn't make sense for Rosanna to take this risk if she wasn't kicked in the head, because MrBeast could just as easily pull the footage, find out that she literally just lost the competition, and it would obliterate her story. So I have to give the charitability that she was at least knocked down and probably was bumped in some way where there was head contact involved, because otherwise this is just way too fucking stupid. And if it was this simple, I assume Jimmy would have sent that to me instead of whatever the fuck I have. So I don't know. I have to assume she was contacted.
With me. Would you be back? Would you come back to a MrBeast production?
She wouldn't take the risk. All right, that is true. Yeah, obviously Rosanna is fucking crazy. But again, Jimmy's not looking to go out of his way to debunk this. So I'm going to treat it like a real allegation and not just dismiss it off the fact that well, they're not showing actual evidence she was kicked when they don't control the footage.
Yeah, of course. Because, I am
dazed and confused and have a concussion.
Well, yes, all of that, but also, I wasn't there thinking I was winning $5 million. I was there for the story. And so I'm, not a sore loser or whatever else. I just thought, okay.
That's 2 mentions of not being a sore loser.
Okay, let me give my speech. So, and yeah, I'd come back. Well, all of that just shows at that time, I didn't appreciate what had just happened to me. And it really did take those weeks on the couch and hearing the stories that came off of your platform that came from
the person. Who is Bunty King?
So this is somebody who's they're a voice that came out because they saw other voices coming out. So this is an ends justifies the means type video. I covered XYZ video. Doesn't matter they're good or bad. Somebody did reach out to me, and this is how I got here. So this is Rosanna's justification for publishing all the slop she's been posting.
New York Times. And then some of the stories.
This is sore loser trauma bonding. I mean, look, I understand. I can't sit here and just preempt every conversation with this person failed the challenge, this person was eliminated, and they were told that they finished at a lower place than they actually did in the edited VOD or whatever. But yeah, obviously, there aren't going to be tons of people who had good experiences coming out and bashing MrBeast. That's kind of an assumption that we could pretty reasonably make.
That came from the dog pack.
So it's not all. I'm sorry. Time out.
404.
Sorry, I'm being too charitable. What do you think about Dogpack?
Or expose stories that came off of your platform, that came from the New York Times, and then some of the stories that came from the Dogpack 404.
Yeah, very clear. Some of the stories. Okay.
Expose, particularly the second one, that showed some of the organizational issues that MrBeast was having, that made me realize this was all part of a larger package, I suspect, and it made it more important to me to try to impact change in some way. To at least, for me, to do the thing that I felt was right and let the chips fall where they may.
I really relate to like exit interviews.
Chips.
Because I've been on a reality show where after I was eliminated, we did an exit interview, and I said very kind things in the moment. And I think that that is very normal. And also I don't want to say aren't in the right state of mind, but I think what's really important for people watching is to understand that you haven't had the time to process what just happened, because it's moving so fast and it's so extreme and it's wild and it's chaotic that, especially for me, who's a slow processor.
So one thing that I've heard, I've heard from Jimmy, I guess, is that they've tried to reach out to as many contestants as they could find, and they couldn't find out who the supposed injured people from like the MrBeast thing was. That was one thing I took away from that. Again, I might be, this is like a conversation I must have had like a month ago or something, so I don't remember the full details on it. But I'm wondering, like, is this something that he's not been forthcoming about, or is this something that they're not being forthcoming about? And like, was this an issue that was raised to Jimmy personally or Jimmy's team at any point? And I'm wondering if that's going to be mentioned here. Like, did she at any point contact Jimmy's team and say, "Hey, I got kicked in the head. This isn't fair"?
What is Bunty King to you?
Or did they ever reach out
Who
to
is
her
Bunty King?
directly?
Nicholas DeOrio?
I didn't have enough time when I went on a
Or is this like the first time everybody's finding out about this?
reality show to even process. So one of the things that MrBeast's production team said,
he said it in the Oompaville interview? Okay.
They made a big point of it, is that they were going to review footage and they were going to go.
This woman never got a medical report or injury report on the scene. Yeah, so again, I'm not going to just victim blame here the entire time, but if you know that you've blacked out, it is very irresponsible to operate a motor vehicle. I understand that people come out of concussions and they don't realize they're concussed. And as somebody who's played hockey, I have seen stuff like this happen. But that's a 6-hour drive is absurd. Like, hey, I know I was just fucking knocked down. I'm extremely tired. You're going to want to put 2 and 2 together there. But at the same time, if I am going to be critical of her for that, I have to be critical of the people who are working there. Nobody saw this woman got hit. There's nobody watching the cameras who saw this woman got absolutely demolished trying to access a fucking... If it's even like 1/10 as bad as they're describing, there's like cameras pointed at every angle here. Somebody has to see this woman got hit and check in with her. That's like an assumption that's being made on something that a production this large.
Go over contestants who were unfairly treated and bring back contestants that shouldn't have been eliminated. Did they ever reach out to you?
No, they didn't. And I did hear that too.
Okay, so they never reached out to her. That's the claim. They've never reached out to her.
From them, that I think they sent out an email to contestants saying that basic thing, that they were reviewing all the footage. And so I was so injured at that point, I would not have actually been able to attend the Toronto games. But I was really expecting to be invited because I was wronged. And I expected also to hear what they were doing about the person who kicked me, because, they could position it.
So what I'm hearing is
a person.
They reviewed the footage and then they spoke and they were going to do something to the person that kicked her. And she couldn't attend because she was too injured at the time. But what she's saying is she did tell them about it, right?
Accident, which I to games. But I was really...
Or did she just not respond to the email?
Expecting to be invited because I was wronged. And
she said she told Carl Jacobs. That's fantastic. But like, is Carl Jacobs a MrBeast employee or is he just attending this event? I understand she said she told Carl Jacobs, but if she told Carl Jacobs in the moment and they sent out a memo saying like, hey, we heard that there are injuries. Can someone reach out to us and tell us what those injuries were? Carl Jacobs could have A, just not reported that, or B, forgotten entirely about it. But if they're sending out an email from like the team MrBeast saying that we heard there are injuries and we're looking to investigate, you'd probably want to respond to that email, I imagine. Carl is a MrBeast employee like Chris. Yeah, again, but this is something that you're going to want to follow up on. If they're sending an email out asking for people who were injured during the MrBeast event, it's obvious that they don't know who they're looking. Like, hey, we're looking for this. please contact if XYZ. They're obviously looking for people to answer that.
And
no, she got the email saying that they're reviewing the footage and assumed that they were sending it to the next game to follow up with her being kicked. Time out. I'm going back. I need to just clarify.
And bring back contestants that shouldn't have this.
Because the implication the chat is giving me is that this is a personalized email that was specifically sent to her about her situation. What I'm understanding from this is that it's a situation-wide email that's being sent to a variety of people. So they might not specifically be aware of her situation, but they might have been aware of other situations that occurred at the Beast Games.
So one of the things that MrBeast's production team said, they made a big point of it, is that they were going to review footage and they were going to go over contestants who were unfairly treated. And
contestants, plural.
And bring back contestants that shouldn't have been eliminated. Did they ever reach out to you?
No, they didn't. And
so she specifically says they did not reach out to me.
Hear that too from them, that I think they sent out an email to
They sent out a mass email
saying that
to all contestants.
Basic thing, that they were reviewing all the footage.
That they're reviewing footage.
And so I was so injured at that point, I would not have actually been able to attend the Toronto games. Mm-hmm. But I was really expecting to be invited because I was wronged. And
okay, I was expecting because I was wronged. All this is telling me is that she didn't answer the email and make any sort of like proactive claim that, hey, I was kneed in the head. And that, okay, so like that's all I'm getting here is that she didn't respond to this email. That is exactly what I was saying before, and people were correcting me. All I'm getting here is she just did not engage with this email, which probably would have gotten her invited back, regardless if she could have participated in it. It sounds like she didn't cooperate.
I expected also to hear what they were doing about the person who...
You shouldn't expect anything, because they didn't tell you that they were aware of it. They very well could have missed it.
Kicked me. Because,
it's possible they didn't have the proper angle. It's possible that someone was blocking it. It's possible they didn't see it. It's possible they missed it. You have to be proactive with stuff like this, yeah.
They could
They did reach out because she got an email. Okay. So, thank you. I appreciate your input, but we just watched the clip. It seems like they sent that out to all the contestants.
You slimy Weasley fuck.
She got a mass email, felt she didn't...
TBI can occur without a blackout. It means bruising or bleeding of the brain. In the last few years, we've learned MRIs and the likes don't show concussions. Recovering from mine was hell, and I don't wish it on my worst enemy.
Yeah, concussions are absolutely brutal. I agree. Thank you very much for the donation. Yeah, again, it's not like a very simple thing, but fucking yeah. So it's clear that she didn't get a personalized email. That's what I'm getting at here.
It is an accident, which I think would be somewhat fair, but in fact, they never have had any kind of conversation with me at all about this.
Well, again, they did reach out to you. You just didn't cooperate. So, again, like, I don't know how angry I'm supposed to feign here, but like, okay. Like, I'm sorry that happened to you, but like, I'm not surprised that they didn't rectify the situation when you mentioned that there's 1,600 contestants. So it's possible that they missed it.
And I was not invited back. Again, I could not have attended it. I had a severe concussion.
Right.
Yeah. But I want to say this, that there were other injuries at Beast Games. I know personally of other people.
And she knows like other people were injured at Beast Games, and then like I don't understand why she wouldn't respond back if she expected to be brought back and expected to find out what would happen to the person who need her. It expected, like, again, even if I don't want to go back and even if I'm not mad, I would still tell people, specifically because the guy kneed me in the head and might win $5 million and he clearly fucking cheated, or at the very least broke the rules and should have been disqualified. Even if I couldn't attend, I would want people to know that so that person doesn't fucking win the challenge. That's what I would do if I was in that situation. I would be like proactive about it because I wouldn't want that person to win because they just gave me a fucking concussion. But maybe that's because I'm petty.
People who were injured. And
it just seems very entitled, yeah.
Expect that many of them will not be telling their stories. And the reason is...
Broke the rules, how do we know that? Well, we established right at the beginning, if we're going by her story, which is the only thing we can use in the first video of this drama, is that the rules were no pushing, no shoving, no kicking. Those were the 3 rules that were established at the beginning of this conversation that we are to believe as we navigate the initial portion of this story. then yes, if someone was kneed in the head, and I imagine that's probably true, because I highly doubt that it was a full contact activity, then that person broke the rules if they crashed into this woman. Intentionally or unintentionally, this woman probably was knocked down, I guess.
Is that we are speaking, this is a delicate situation. It's delicate, it's controversial, there are legal issues.
Dude, she almost had to get knee surgery.
And I realized that I was at this fork in the road. I could speak out and potentially reduce the chances of future injuries. The risk,
or I can wait until the day that the footage is released, and then I can speak out after all the people continue to get injured.
So much harder. Big content strategy problem.
Merry Christmas to you too, Bunhead.
Money, all right?
Oh, Burrhead. Sorry, I can't read.
BTW Merry Christmas, Nick. Thanks for the great content.
risk of that is there's a legal risk.
No. Is there a contract that'll prevent you from talking about how somebody broke the rules and gave you a fucking concussion and kneed you in the head? And just to be clear, even if there is a legal risk, because I'm not a lawyer and I wouldn't know for a fact, what are the optics of MrBeast pursuing a lawsuit to talk about somebody who got fucking kicked in the head and got a traumatic brain injury during his event? What are the optics of the lawsuit there? Is that something they can... Hey, if you suffer a traumatic brain injury during our contestant thing, then you don't have the right to sue? I imagine there would be an NDA. What are the bounds on that? Was there like a real risk here?
The risk of that...
And like, what is the risk of doing it now? I guess the NDA is just expired?
Is there's a legal risk. And frankly, any lawyer, which by the way, I don't have a lawyer, because I suspect my...
Wait, I don't have a lawyer? So you're not even pursuing this legally now?
Frankly, any lawyer, which by the way, I don't have a lawyer, because I suspect my lawyers would say, don't come do an interview. Because lawyers are really good at...
Oh no. I didn't get a lawyer because they would just tell me that I shouldn't get on stream with you.
Keeping you from...
Oh, God.
From, getting sued into the gutter. And...
Wait, hold on. Wait, no. This is weird.
That would be their purpose. I have been poor multiple times in my life.
Wait, you're saying like I'm accepting the responsibilities of potentially getting sued, but you let her time it until after all of the MrBeast stuff was done? After presumably you've suffered for a year? With like tons of medical expenses over this?
Fairly poor just from this whole circumstance. And the gutter doesn't scare me. I can survive in the gutter for
then
a
why did everybody fucking wait to time this with the release of the show then? If you could have protected other people.
Long time.
What
scares me more is
who is Bunty King?
6,
Nicholas
12
DeOrio?
months from now, some major injury happens, and I hadn't said anything.
What you're saying really resonates with me.
Wait, I'm sorry. What do you think? You're going to fall asleep in a year and never wake up because you got a concussion 2 years ago?
Because I've talked to over 200 contestants from Beast Games and almost about 50 employees.
They literally asked her and she didn't answer them.
And former employees of MrBeast. And they said the same thing, that the sets and the shoots were dangerous.
And the issue here is there's no oversight. And so all that a future contestant can really count on, or the information that I had was, for instance, there was a Time magazine piece in February where set safety was brought up, but then the MrBeast organization responded with, oh no, we work to improve that all the time. And then they have...
Yeah, that's probably what they're going to say.
Videos like the one with sometime in the last year with Mac and his
Who's Mac? Does anyone know who Mac is?
His greatest fears video, and he ends up in the lake, diving down in the lake, and MrBeast says, oh, if you were concerned about his safety, just know that we have like 12 divers down there and they were ready to rescue him if he needed to be rescued. And so those were some of the signals that I heard as a potential contestant, and I signed a liability waiver that yes, I could risk death.
Oh, okay. Well,
sign that, assuming
That's probably
they
why.
actually-
That's probably why there's no lawsuit then. But.
Actually did tend to set safety, and that there were a dozen divers.
It just sounds like an unfortunate situation happened. Well, they gave me the very same assurances. It's probably not like a lie. They probably do have those divers. I highly doubt that's just for the video.
Or whatever the detail was, in the Mac video, and that may or may not be true. I have no idea, but there wasn't that level of care in the Beast game set. I would think a dozen people saw the kick.
And again, didn't she get eliminated in the first round? I don't really know if she speaks for all the MrBeast game stuff. If she literally got eliminated as soon as she got there. That's another one where it's I don't really know.
And I had 0 exit medical care.
Apparently there are tons of people who've been injured at the MrBeast games, and Rosanna chose to start her interview spree with, one of the ones who, I guess, didn't see the majority. It just seems like a huge mistake, I guess, if she's going to be interviewing these MrBeast games people.
It's completely unacceptable.
The circumstance of the kick itself is unacceptable. I would say to them, I need to speak to a producer. Because I was trying to tell them, I just got knocked down. I need to speak to a producer.
Yeah.
Each one I was
got
saying,
knocked down.
Yeah, I was saying to them, I got knocked down.
The thing is, in this moment, the way that she's handling it here, it's probably there's probably 50 people who are walking up to a Beast employee being I was wrongfully eliminated. I need you to look at the cameras or something. This is that's probably why there were so many people who needed to be looked at after the fact. I imagine that half the people who got eliminated were you don't understand. I just got pushed. What the fuck? Or whatever. This is probably a very high fucking intensity moment. We're yeah, listen, I understand. No, I understand. You were also wrongfully eliminated. Yeah, you're probably also wrongfully eliminated. All these people are probably wildly overwhelmed that every person who just lost out on their opportunity of $5 million is asking for a recount. It's fucking sure as hell what I would be doing.
And they were saying...
Did she get knocked down or trip? I didn't even consider the fact that she might have fucking fallen on her own. That would be insane. Imagine Jimmy releases the footage and she just fucking trips and falls straight into the ground head first. And that's why she blacked out. And when she woke up, a foot was running past her head. That would be one of the funniest things. Again, I don't think that's the case because I feel like we would have that footage, but...
We don't know a producer.
That would be crazy.
But the point is, I told many...
This is just Jimmy releasing the footage of her face planting into the ground because she that would be nuts.
People that I had just gotten knocked down.
Right. What did she say? Sorry.
But the point is, I told many people that I had just gotten knocked down.
Right.
What is Bunty King to you? A person? Who is Bunty King?
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas.
Clear. I didn't ask where the nurse was.
And he even told Carl, which is
yeah, right.
MrBeast's, one of his inner crew members. They're a very close, tight...
Dude, I can't believe Carl Jopes didn't do anything.
...team.
That's correct, and I have 2 selfies with Carl that in my 2-hour-long...
Oh my... Dude, this woman is the selfie fucking stealer, dude. The selfie bandit has 2 selfies. Dude, she's sitting there her mouth drooping or whatever. Fucking looks like she just had a stroke because she's concussed to all hell. And she's like, Carl, you should take a selfie with me, Carl. Carl Jobst, why are you not Australian? Take a selfie with me.
Video that everyone should watch. If you don't watch it all, you can go to the very end.
Go back. She said she didn't ask for a nurse. No, I mean, I heard it. Yeah, 100%. But she's also saying that she didn't know she was concussed and she drove home. So I guess that for her stupid story, that is kind of on point. But again, she does know she was knocked down. She doesn't need a nurse. She didn't think she was concussed. She drove all the way home. It's it is reasonable for a person who doesn't realize that they've been injured to not ask for a nurse immediately. There is somebody who's watching this on camera who probably should be asking those questions for her. They have medical staff on standby for this. And if this woman was even if she just took a hard fall, even if it was entirely her fault, and she just took a hard fall, somebody should be seeing this on camera and going, hey, are you okay? Because that is definitely a fault of the MrBeast team here, for sure.
And see the selfies, including 2 with Carl Jacobs.
So one of the things that bothers me is when some people say, well, you were free to leave at any time. So do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, that's not true. So this is her getting mad at me for some reason. And projecting this on this random woman. No, she was not free to leave at any time. She chose to do one part and was promptly eliminated immediately. She wasn't even free to stay. She was immediately eliminated. She showed up, did challenge number 1, and went home as soon as the situation happened because she didn't have the opportunity to stay. Jake Weddle stayed for fucking over 10 days in a challenge and then left with like $100,000. So these are not comparable situations. Jake Weddle is a pussy who's being like paraded around like he's the biggest victim ever of all time when he's made out with like $180,000 or some fucking crazy number like that between his begging now or his fucking money he took home then that he wasn't even like supposed to get because he didn't even complete the challenge. So yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think that there's like a financial chokehold here causing him to do this stuff. If you're that fucking susceptible, then you should probably get a regular job instead of fucking showing up on YouTube to be like the random shitter goblin who shows up to just do challenges for money because they're that broke and they want to fund a comedy career. Okay, maybe you should make better life decisions if you can't say no to money, and you probably shouldn't do a MrBeast fucking challenge if that's the case.
Absolutely.
Maybe you should take some ownership of your own life and not blame everybody else for your fucking stupid decisions.
Absolutely. And that is really the essence of what I took to the Las Vegas Police Department as well. And by the way, everyone, Ro, welcome to my TED Talk. Seriously, I gave an actual TED Talk.
No, you did. Oh my gosh, you did.
On this topic about a decade ago, and it is about the concept of free choice. And so, but let me first back up before we talk about the TED Talk, and just reemphasize that I did not have the information that
Time out. Wait.
About a decade ago, and it is about the concept on this topic about a decade ago. Absolutely. And that is really the essence of what I took to the Las Vegas Police Department as well. And by the way,
the what? The police department?
Everyone, Ro, welcome to my TED Talk. Seriously, I gave an actual TED Talk.
No, you did. Oh my gosh, you did.
On this topic about a decade ago, and it is about the concept of free choice. And so, but let me first back up before we talk about the TED Talk, and just reemphasize that I did not have the information that other people had about the danger of the game board.
You did, though, because you could see. You have eyes. Unless you have, like, zero peripheral vision, you would see where everybody is standing. I watched it. It's not like they're coming out of, like, a blocked hallway of some kind. You absolutely had the idea that there are people on the left and the right of you, and in the front of you. Am I, like, crazy here? Am I missing something? What secret information did she not have? We literally just pulled this up. It's like right there.
So production assistants viewed it from the bleachers.
She was not allowed to watch the 4 groups ahead of her. Like those teams weren't allowed to see it. But it's not like she doesn't have like peripheral vision. She can't see that everybody's running directly in the same location.
Not allowed to go into the bleachers to view it.
She didn't have the Konami code.
We viewed the game from the floor of Allegiant Stadium.
Right.
And I'm 5'2". And I was, I don't know, a few rows behind people. So it's when you're viewing between the shoulders of people.
Oh, so they were allowed to watch it. She's just short. Regardless, though, she can see while she's in the thing that everybody's running on the outskirts all towards a center location. The implication there being that people are going to be running in every direction.
And you see a tiny slice of the game.
Did you get the Nikes? Actually, I'm wearing, I am wearing, and I'm not wearing shoes. I was wearing foams before.
So I didn't see this risk.
Yeah, with common sense, you'd know. That's the problem I have with her story, is she's claiming to be like an intelligent game analyst, and she doesn't realize that, like, hey, yeah, about that. They're like, I'm sorry, it's just ridiculous.
Of like crossways traffic and all that.
Right.
I simply didn't see it. And so it wasn't part of my calculus.
Like, I'm the most intelligent person here. I'm using my intellect to get past everybody. Also, I didn't think that when 4 groups of people were running from perpendicular angles that they would cross paths. And like, this is ridiculous. This is extremely stupid.
And my strategy. So I thought I could just like run freely and get that.
I thought I could run freely and that other people, I thought I was the only one playing the game.
That case, and I'd be okay. That it was really a matter of being
like they're literally running on perpendicular angles towards a central point. This is the stupidest shit ever. I'm sorry. I don't like whatever. Everything she's saying here is retarded.
Fast enough to get to one of these cases and being, like.
And again, all that doesn't give her an excuse to get kicked in the head. or people to not see it and miss it on camera and to not bring it up. But like, I'm not really sold by all the stuff that she's adding to the story.
Mentally sharp enough to be able to map enough cases that I was probably going to be fine.
This is not rocket science, ma'am. All you need to do is look on the fucking screen, pick a briefcase, and run towards it. If anything, if you just look at it and you map out like, all right, there's a sector where there's like 6 green briefcases. As long as I get one, I'll still be in the competition. Okay, I'm gonna run in that direction. That's where I'm gonna go. There's no like, you're not doing fucking calculus here. There's no geometry to solve. You're not fucking solving for fucking, you're not doing a logarithm. Okay, it's just fucking running to some green shit on the screen.
And that is how I viewed it. That was the view that I had. Of course, compare that to Mr. Beast.
Motherfucker's doing PEMDAS right now. Just run to the box.
Beast's view, as he stood on a pedestal above all of us, he saw the mayhem of the 2 games before mine.
Right.
And of my game, and of the next game. He had a great view. All the cameras, they had lots of...
Yeah, she was probably looking down because she was in the middle of typing... A squared plus B squared equals C squared on her graphing calculator. That's probably why she didn't see the gigantic man ran directly through her, because she was too busy solving for the equation.
Overhead cameras, and they had people viewing those camera rooms, and they would have been able to see the risk. But I could not see the risk from the floor of Allegiant Stadium. And so, yes, I was free to be there. Yes, I signed a liability waiver. All of that. I absolutely could have gone at any time, but...
Did Jimmy's mom know the risks?
Was this then an exercise in free choice? And that is the question. And so, again, welcome to the TED Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the essence of the TED Talk, this is a decade ago, and it's on an entirely different topic, and it has to do with the choice of raw milk. That just being able to...
Dude, the raw milk, bro.
Reach for this milk versus this milk. But we need to know cognitively...
Do you get the spilled milk show that Augie's still not posting regularly despite thousands of dollars worth of memberships coming in every month?
Something about the difference between those
Augie
choices.
Scam mode?
And so the information we have about those choices really affects whether our choice of raw milk or pasteurized milk is free. It's only free if we have enough information about the difference between the choices. Therein lies free choice. And
Right.
so take that to Beast Games. And my physical ability to walk...
I don't respect you. So,
Did you know Rose Malay was on Beast Games? Apparently everybody's just on Beast Games now. Like, all the shills are the only ones who didn't make it.
Through that exit door. And the fact that I didn't is it a sign that my concussion and my injury comes from my exercising free choice? Well, I argue that I didn't have the information about the risk. And in fact, it was kept from me.
Wait, you didn't have the information about the risk? No, this is just not true. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely fucking absurd. We literally watched how this was done earlier in the stream. Sorry. No, it's unfortunate what happened to you. That's where my sympathies end.
Because I was not allowed to view from the bleacher because I was told there would be no kicking.
Yeah, that's part of the challenge, ma'am. You can't sit up on the bleachers and watch how they do it.
And no pushing.
There's supposed to be no contact. You know, it's not, we weren't supposed to be hitting, kicking, tackling contestants. And the fact that that did happen to you, someone else is breaking the rules and they're not enforcing it and you got injured.
See, this is all fair. I have no problem with any of this.
That was the rule.
Right.
So color me surprised that I would be tackled in a game that would not allow tackling.
Right.
Well, it's obviously unintentional contact. Obviously, this person didn't go out of their way to, like, obliterate you. Unless they did, which would be completely fucking insane. But we don't have enough evidence to prescribe malice here.
Right.
So
everybody's running towards a central point, and not everybody can see that central point because they're all looking... Well, not the center. Everyone's running at a different briefcase, and not everybody's looking at their peripheral vision to see what's directly around them, which is how these things are happening in the first place. I highly doubt someone was intentionally going like, I know that I will get eliminated if I make contact with somebody, so I'm going to do a fucking Matt Rempe-style body check and get an 8-game suspension over it.
Was it an exercise in free choice?
She was bumped into. Yeah, it's obviously this... I mean, I would be absolutely fucking... floored if someone was like, I'm going to the MrBeast event and there's $5 million on the line and I'm just going to obliterate some old woman right off to start the challenge.
No.
And get eliminated.
So you somehow make it home driving with a concussion and just thank goodness you didn't get in an accident. You got home, Could you kind of walk us through what the next days and weeks were for you?
So yes, to just reiterate, I didn't know at that time as I was driving back that I had a concussion. And that was a Sunday. The injury was early Saturday morning. The drive back was Sunday. It was Monday that I realized I had a goose egg on my head, right on the back of my head. I had an abrasion. And the symptoms, besides the sleepiness that had come on that drive, by Monday, the headaches and the nausea began. And that is when I realized I must have a concussion. And so I went.
Wait, you didn't know even after you felt... no, this is ridiculous now. So she was falling asleep while driving, knew she had head contact, realized she blacked out, but the next day she felt kind of nauseous, so she went to the hospital. If anything, that just tells me of the severity, I think.
To urgent care, and I was
like a whole day later. She's lucky she didn't die from fucking falling asleep. That's insane.
Diagnosed with that, and with
there's no medic. No.
A left.
Wait, she went to urgent care and not even the hospital.
Rib. They did an X-ray to see if there was any sign of evidence that it was broken.
Oh my gosh, you had a bruised rib?
Well, and I was kicked in the calves, so I had bruising on my calves as well.
So apparently, just a group of people just mauled her,
and so
she had a bruise in her calf, she had a bruised rib, and she had a concussion.
That was urgent care. That was Monday. And then Thursday, I went into my primary care doctor and then began meeting with her once a week, I believe, for the first month. And she would do this concussion battery score on me every week. And it's what she does for her high school football players, or, high schoolers who are injured. And so we're doing this.
She got jumped? Yeah, apparently she got the shit beaten out of her in a fucking Arby's parking lot. She looked like Biz Nasty after that group of people beat the fuck out of him while he's walking out of the bar.
It's a little concussion battery every week. And she was just giving me some of the general medical advice. In that first week, I was sure that this is like a 1 week recovery. Maybe it's 2. So, and by the end of the second week, I'm thinking this is really surely almost over. And I didn't even imagine or even want to process.
Yeah, this is one of those where now I need to see the footage. Hold on.
That it could be much bigger and longer term. So it was at the 6 week point that I had that concussion score again, and it wasn't showing signs of decline as it should have.
Right, and for anyone who's watching or listening who isn't familiar with a concussion score, this is a score that a doctor does after you've had a concussion to see where you're at, right? Is that how it...
Yeah, so this one was it's like a list of symptoms, and you rate the scale of severity of something like sensitivity to light,
right,
or loud noises. So there's a whole list of things that are common.
All right, I've put in a formal request for the footage of this woman getting mauled.
Concussion symptoms, and you just rate them, and you're tracking your change over time.
I will update you as we move forward.
And so I had made some slight changes on those different...
I've asked the deep state for the footage.
Things, but apparently not nearly what they would expect at the 6 week point.
Shoot.
And that is when she ordered an MRI. So up to that point, I had not received an MRI.
You ever smack your head on the cupboard? I always think my head is bleeding when I check. How did she not check? I literally fucking did this today. I was setting something up for Christmas because we host every year. And I bumped my head on the back of a fucking mounted TV. And the first thing I did was check, because I'm like, holy shit, did I just fucking cut the back of my head? Because I like whipped my head up pretty hard, and I bumped into a mounted fucking TV. I was like terrified for a second. And you ever hit your head and you're totally okay, but in the back of your head you're like, holy shit, did I get a concussion? I really do not want a concussion. Holy fuck, this could be really bad. This is gonna be like months or whatever. And you're like, no, I'm actually fine. And then you're like, should I go to sleep tonight? I'm like nervous about this. Like I get anxiety if I bump my head a little bit where I'm like, holy fuck, do I have a concussion?
Which by the way that's...
And again, maybe it's because I played hockey. Oh yeah, and I watch people get concussions and I watch people's fucking like careers get destroyed over concussions and stuff like this, and I was always nervous about it. And not even careers. It's not like anyone was going to the major leagues or whatever. But like the rest of their lives could be slightly damaged by too many concussions as a fucking teenager for sure. Even if you're not going into some kind of sports thing.
The key tool that they use to assess whether you've had a brain bleed. And the fact that I did not receive an MRI in Las Vegas, as I look back, I'm horrified, because that is when they identify a brain bleed, their concern, and the reason they try to identify it is you can die in your sleep.
Absolutely, sure, yeah, 100%. It doesn't sound like anybody realized this, other than Carl. It sounds like Carl Jacobs dropped the ball. If I had to guess, he didn't even report it. But I'm waiting for Carl Jacobs' statement on this for sure.
And so there I was.
Because again, it's either a huge, like, who dropped the ball here? Is it Team MrBeast? I guess Carl Jacobs would be part of that. Or is it like, did Carl not report it to the security or whatever that had the footage?
6 weeks.
Because it sounds like Carl fucked this up. but it very well could be Team MrBeast.
Weeks, not even knowing if I had a bleed. And then it took 6 more weeks of insurance.
You have CTE for sure. You and Pansino could be slow processing together.
Bureaucracy before I actually finally got the MRI. And so I got the MRI at 12 weeks.
So I'm extremely lucky. Out of years of playing hockey, at least 10 years from playing it when I was like a early teens to when I finished in a D3 college roller hockey. Okay. I never broke a bone or anything. I never broke a bone. I never fucking got a concussion. I'm like extremely lucky that I never actually hurt myself between playing deck roller and ice hockey.
During this time, what was
bruises like a motherfucker? Holy shit! One time I played beer league late night hockey or whatever. Like you showed up on like a Saturday night at like 2 a.m. or whatever, and you played hockey, and some fucking dad used his dad strength and took a slap shot right into my foot. I finished the shift, but I was sure I broke my fucking I thought I broke something. My foot was fucking purple, bro. Dude, dad strength is dangerous. Holy shit, dude. No, bruises and shit. I had bruises all over my body, but no, like, long-term injuries.
Was MrBeast production company's communication with you? Were they doing
maybe the big, fast guy was the dad?
Anything to help the process
the big, fast guy who just hits people, yeah.
Were they... Where were they?
The funny thing is, like, the roller hockey was, like, a non-contact league or whatever, but you were allowed to make contact if it was in like, to get the puck or whatever. It's not the same as like checking. You're not allowed to just check people, but if you're both moving towards a central target and that collision is unavoidable, it was allowed. So there's just some footage of me absolutely trampling this guy to the point where it's a yard sale and his gloves and stick flew out of his hand. I have it somewhere where I just completely fucking crushed some guy in fucking roller hockey. That was back when we were in D4, but it was crazy.
Oh, certainly not at that stage. And so I was in contact with him in that first week.
Nick, I keep getting Insta ads for Bobby plushies. Send me a... Actually, wait, I think... Didn't Makeshift promote it? I think I've seen that picture, yeah. I don't think Boblax is doing it. I think Makeshift feels bad for him.
And so the urgent care visit was on a Monday, and I sent a photo of like the diagnosis to a MrBeast producer.
Right.
And so
I'm sorry. This should have been like 30 minutes ago. She sent a photo of her concussion diagnosis to a Beast producer. Holy shit, we actually have new information. Thank you, Rosanna, for pushing to get us to this point.
And so I was in contact with them in that first week. And so
in the first week, they knew. Okay. This is different now.
Urgent care visit was on a Monday, and I sent a photo of like the diagnosis to a MrBeast producer. Right. And so I'm sure it went into my profile that I have a concussion, and I spoke to...
This is like some fucking first 5 minutes of the video type beat. I'm actually shocked that we're 37 minutes into the video, and we're just now finding out that she did report this to MrBeast within 1 week.
Producers that week when they called...
This should be the intro clip? Yeah, I just wasted so much time hearing about so much garbage it doesn't matter. This is actually important now.
All the contestants and
it'll be in my intro clip, I promise.
Checked in with them. I spoke to 2 of them and told them about the concussion. And then a couple of days later, I'm going to say it might have been Friday of that week, that one of the producers did ask in about me. She sent me a text.
Oh, okay. All right. So a producer personally reached out to her. Dude, where the fuck was this 20 minutes ago? All right. To be clear, she has a brain injury, so maybe she's just dumb. I don't understand why this is just coming up now.
And I said,
so they did their job. Yeah, it sounds like they're doing. And also, yeah, it does sound like they followed up with her. Yeah,
I'm fine, because at that point, again, I'm thinking, I got another week. You know what I mean? I'm not imagining what is in front of me. And again, I'm trying to be positive. And I still was so much a super fan of the organization. And just leaning into like, okay, I'm going to recover. It's all going to be okay. And again, never imagining I would be sitting here discussing this with you and looking at a year-long recovery from a brain injury.
Wait, it sounds like you just had like a mild concussion.
Did I not ask you nice enough?
I don't respect you.
That's just such an uncharitable way to paint it. But yeah, that's what a concussion is.
And so from there, I got some general emails from the Mr.
It sounds like the doctor didn't do a good job. Or the urgent care clinic person didn't really give you a good... Like, you were meeting weekly. Why did you think it would be over in a week if you were meeting weekly?
Beast organization, like, hey, submit your
It just wasn't explained to you very well.
Tax form, stuff like that. And they said they were going to...
Like, concussions are no joke. I mean...
switching their communication system over and using a text-based system, but I never heard about that. And so I believe it was around September 1st that I emailed them and said, hey, did you guys ever set that thing up? Maybe I missed it because, I do have a concussion and might not be catching all your communications.
Yeah.
And I never heard back from them on that email. And then I sent them another email in mid-September kind of with the same flavor and didn't hear back on that either.
Ghosted.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's a reasonable criticism.
Recovery process was really long. This is over 6 weeks. So what were the symptoms you were experiencing?
In the first 6 weeks, definitely the persistent headache, nausea, and fatigue.
Yeah.
Fatigue has been the biggest thing for me in all of these weeks. I will say I felt like I was 80 years old, and I could not.
All right, so it wasn't that bad. Is that a mean joke?
Recover from activity. There was a time, it was maybe about the 12 or 14 week point, where I went out and walked 2 miles, just like in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
2 miles, that's it.
What is
In
Bunty
July,
King to you?
I was able to
Person?
hike
Who is
10 to
Bunty
15
King?
miles, 2,000 feet elevation gain
DeOrio?
with no recovery problem at all. I mean, at all. It was fine.
Badass.
Absolutely.
Love it. Yeah.
Yes, I was, and I will be again. But 2 miles, and I was exhausted for 2 days. Like, how you hear that about like your grandma?
You're like, something isn't right. Yeah. That's not normal for you. That's not. It's not who you are.
So
Dude, Gran is going crazy right now on this podcast.
devastating. So devastating. Okay. I will not get emotional.
I mean, this is sad. Yeah, obviously, nobody wants to be living with a fucking concussion, and getting one from a competition like this that was supposed to be no contact is pretty shitty. Yep.
I simply have not been able to do what I could do. And the fatigue has been the biggest issue. So that was that walk was the 12 to 14 week point, and now we're at about 5 months at this point. And I'm so excited and proud of myself because I walked 3 miles the other day, flat land, no elevation, but flat land, and didn't have a recovery problem. And so then the next time I'll walk 3.5, and I'll try it. And I'm getting back. I'm coming back.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
coming
driven.
back.
You're a fighter.
I am coming back, but it has been.
I mean, good for
It's
her.
been difficult, and so the headaches have continued. They're getting better, and the nausea is getting better. I have really strange earaches. That just it's like it's the outer part of my ear. It's not like inside, and I get actual ear pain. Like my lobes hurt to the touch, and it's just very strange.
I mean,
And
as much as the chat doesn't like her, it's not like she deserved to get a concussion.
I get those. When I'm
Do you honestly believe her? At this point in the stream, I have no reason to not believe that she has these symptoms of a concussion. I have there's nothing that has occurred here that I could clearly say is like, absolutely, she's fully lying. This is complete bullshit.
or not sleeping as well and stuff like that, and it's definitely from the concussion. I've never had anything like that before.
Yeah.
Those are getting a little bit better, so it will all get better. But the doctor is definitely having me focus on a 1-year trajectory. And I made that realization in September. And so that would have been about 8 weeks, realizing how difficult this was going to be. And again, our Eat Like a Bear vision for ourselves and weight loss is what will our lives look like in 1 year. And so I went to our community in September and said, I think
Oh, shit. Thank you so much, Toxic.
No. Did your girlfriend use a strap on and give you monkeypox?
No.
And can we get the dub? Can we get the dub?
I heard you
Let's
into some BDSM shit, so I'm just wondering if that's how
Mr.
you-
Beast! Mr. Beast!
Why are you still here?
Just got here. IDK who this other lady is, but all I know is you should put this money on red.
Hell
Not
yeah,
black
dude!
this
We just put
time.
it on red right now, bro! Let's go! Thank you so much.
a 1-year recovery. And so, and many of them are joining me in this goal.
That looks okay, she's crying while we're cheering and screaming Mr. Beast. That's not a good clip. Okay, so hold on, wait. I didn't realize she was crying when I won the Fortnite game. I would have, okay, Jesus. She's literally ulting while I'm fucking, okay, hold on, whoa.
Recovery.
Dude, she was literally celebrating and she's sobbing. Oh my God, fuck. I'm no. Stop, don't clip that.
So, and many of them are joining me in this goal, but sorry.
Dude, I'm sorry. It's just kind of. I'm totally not reacting the right way right now. I'm sorry.
Who
I'm.
Nicholas DeOrio?
Pardon my emotions.
No, it's fine.
1 year from September of 2024. So I announced to them September 21st of 2025. I don't know where I'll be, but I'll be out somewhere on a trail.
I feel like such a dick. I can't stop laughing now. It's so awkward. All right, I totally feel bad for him. I'm sorry.
Who is Bunty King?
Nicholas
One
DeOrio?
that even 7 years ago I wasn't able to access, that I can't access now either. Yeah. But that's where I'll be. And so part of coming here and talking to you today is processing this, is getting past this point.
Yeah.
I need this story to be out there.
Again, like I wish somebody who's like a charitable person helped her push this story out. I just like, it's crazy that we had to wait fucking 3/4 of the way through the video to find out what actually happened with the Beast team.
And I need to be able to be out and hike and not worry that someone else is going to be injured.
Yeah.
And if they are, you know, God bless them, let people make their choices.
The story is obviously a nothing burger. Well, this is the problem when you have bad actors like Rosanna, because they're portraying this as some huge bulletproof, fuck Mr. Beast, you're not going to believe what the kind of bullshit that's going on here. And then she provides like an unfortunate reality of running a fucking competition like this. Like, yeah, it's absolutely shitty that this wasn't caught immediately. It's absolutely shitty that fucking she got kneed in the head at all. It's absolutely shitty if she has a fucking concussion, right? But like, she's pointing out like this is the smoking gun and throwing these victims ahead of like people like me who are critical of the story. And again, I understand that a lot of people in the chat don't like her, but that's not a good enough reason to just bash the shit out of her before watching any of the other content about this.
They're going to be involved.
Like, it's just like you're throwing this woman to the wolves right now, and it's obvious that this is being released the same day as the Beast Games to elicit the largest reaction possible. Rosanna Pansino isn't just releasing these things because she's virtuous; she's timing these releases, right? Like that's what she's been doing the entire time.
And let them have their free choice.
It's this woman versus an Amazon show.
And I fully support that.
It's like, hey, instead of like, here's what I can do for you. My name's Rosanna Pansino. I have a channel. I can help you. I can push your story out. It's here's what you can do for me. I need to release something the day of the Mr. Games. And that's how she's operated this whole situation.
Let there be no more situations like this. And I need to be free of that. And so as you see me in social media, that is what I'm going to be doing all this year. Is you'll see me hiking. I'll be live streaming from a trail. I have no idea. Telling stories, maybe completely unhinged. Who knows?
When the producer reached out, she told them that they were fine. Again, it sounds like she indicated that, but she wasn't very forthcoming about it. Like, she's like, I tried to stay positive and stuff. And I said, yeah, it's very possible that is the case. Because they said they followed up with her and she didn't respond. But when I heard her say that, she did the whole, oh, well, I was just trying to be positive. It does sound like she said that, yeah. Why is she crying? Why are you laughing at her? She has a traumatic brain injury. She has a mild concussion, asshole.
Because
she said text, then email. Yeah. I mean, it depends on what exactly she said. I would need to see these like, I would need to either see the contact to kind of understand why it wasn't pursued, or I would need to see the interaction she's had with these employees.
Who is Bunty King?
It's pretty weird. Like, it seems like at this point she's not afraid to be sued. So why not just release the logs? Does she put logs in her other video?
Interesting thing is, in terms of working with the doctors, because I'm working with a specialized center at UCSF.
Yeah.
And I shared my frustration with them that I have been very good at live videos and just really good at like juggling all the stuff you have to do in a live and just like,
God, she's so good at everything, isn't she? This is like a promotional opportunity. I'm so smart. I'm so good at everything, except apparently running to a briefcase.
Cognitively,
it's hard. There's a lot of moving factors.
Fielding the questions or getting trolled. By the way, I love,
you missed your prime, honey. It's over. Just fucking, I don't know. Like, what do you want to do here?
Come on. By the way, like, bring the trolls.
Silly.
PhD in video game theory, yeah.
And so, it's always been great, but has been very difficult.
A smart lady wouldn't confuse email with text. Again, I'm sorry. She has a mild concussion. That's fucked up that you attack her like that maliciously.
For me to like juggle the cognitive balls. And so
she's juggling cognitive balls.
Talking with the therapist about it, what they say is you need to do more, not less. And so that is going to be one of my big things.
Do they think that that's going to help with recovery?
Yes.
Is challenging yourself, like mentally and physically, within reason, but, like they think that that's an important part of like recovery and like,
absolutely.
Yeah. Stimulation and getting things going and
coming here today and doing such a long interview that
I did great.
Well, and because I had no idea, but I thought, so what? Let's just do it. Let's just see.
Yeah.
But
the problem is, like, I've never seen an older woman before who I'm comfortable to say, like, she seems like she really wants to be on camera right now. You know, usually when I see like an older woman pop up in a drama, it's just like, yeah, obviously she's here because she has XYZ reason to be here. This woman seems like she's very comfortable being on camera, and she's pretty excited about the opportunity she has here.
I have a lot of cognitive lapses. So not only is there the headaches, the nausea, and that sort of thing, which are going down, thank goodness. And we want to see them continue to go down. That is a sign.
Like, she seems crazy narcissistic with that. Again, I don't want to diagnose her with fucking any personality disorders, but half of this thing is talking about her incident, and half of this is boasting about how intelligent she is, and how she has all these skills, and how she's such like a... It's weird. This is like a... I even like people who I think are going to be critical of my response to this video or my reaction has to kind of concede. It's weird how like boisterous she is about her own certifications throughout this entire process while she's supposedly telling the super traumatic story.
That I can make a full recovery. I'm making a full recovery. I'm making full recovery.
I'm allowed to call somebody narcissistic. Half these fucking T channels open up every video claiming that everyone's a narcissist.
And so if it takes longer than, all these things always take longer than you hope. So we're already there. You know, it's already longer than we hope. But
like this very much feels like a 15 minutes type thing, even though I don't want to say stuff like that because I act like I completely like diminish her as a victim or something just by making that comment. But I feel like I've been pretty charitable to her throughout this entire stream.
One of the odd things or things that affect the live videos as well is I'll have cognitive lapses about 2 days ago for my son.
But I wouldn't blame people who obviously have that position, who are fucking screaming, Nick, you don't understand. She's a liar. She's a liar, Nick. What are you doing? You're not calling her out. She's a liar.
Had a cheeseburger in his hand. He'd gotten it at school and brought it home. It was like school lunch. And I looked at it and I said, oh, what a good looking sandwich. What is that? And he said, it's a cheeseburger. And I stared at it and I couldn't imagine what he was saying. Like, what's a cheeseburger?
Like, I have like the fucking guy from Family Guy. You're a phony. You're a big fat phony in the chat right now.
I know. I'm so horrified by that, but it's just to give an example.
It's like on the tip of the tongue, the tip of the brain.
And so I find myself struggling with all these symptoms. And it's very shocking because it was just 5 months ago. I was at my peak. I mean, I was out completely living my best. As I was preparing for Beast Games, I was jogging, which, by the way, I decided I don't really like because I never jogged before. But Matt Pat said, you need to work on your cardio. And so I...
Dude, Matt Pat. There's some... Dude. What does it matter if Matt Pat said it? Why is Matt Pat such a fucking... reoccurring character in the story about MrBeast?
I worked on my cardio. Matt Pat
looked at you and said, "You're a little chunky, ma'am."
Worked on my cardio.
Bro, if Matt Pat fat shamed me, I would have lost the weight that I lost so far a lot sooner, dude.
Yeah. So
Matt Pat's like, stop eating fucking... I got a theory for you. Try a salad. This is so weird, bro. Yeah, dude, I have a theory for you. If you try to go to the gym.
I was out.
Dude, imagine if I just woke up one day and Matt Pat fat shamed me on Twitter. I would lose the rest of the weight, dude.
Which, by the way, I decided I don't really like, because I never jogged before. But Matt Pat said you need to work on your cardio, and so
dude, Matt Pat's like, this is what you got to do, bitch. You got to eat a salad.
I did. Yeah, I worked on my cardio. Matt Pat, I worked on my cardio.
Yeah, and you were like feeling better than ever. You were like, yeah, this is
because I was coming from Matt Pat.
I felt so healthy. You're like.
I was swimming. For the first time, I was lake swimming. And which I don't know, it seems obvious now, like why hadn't I gone lake swimming before? And it was so amazing. And so I was ready, like, let me get back from Beast Games and I'm going to be swimming all the time. Now, because I'm not too far from a lake, it's a really wonderful experience. And so I was discovering some things and was really just at my peak.
Take a shot every time she mentions Matt Pat. Is this something that's going to continue? Because there's been a lot of Matt Pat references here. Dude, I feel like she's the one who took it the hardest when he quit.
Yeah. And then I was kicked in the head.
Then you got injured on Beast Games.
And I was literally for 2 weeks, I was in the complete darkness in a sleep mask for most of the hours of the day with earplugs and with like complete brain rest. And then felt like I was 80 years old. But I'm getting it back.
What happened to you is obviously physically draining.
Maybe it's like menopause. I'm kidding. Shut up. Don't clip that.
It's your head. It's your brain. It's your health, but it's also emotionally draining. Like, how has it affected your everyday life now?
I mean, it's completely shaped all of my life now. I haven't gotten back to my work.
Yeah, it's Metapod. That's what it was. I was saying Metapod. She's a Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
I'm getting back to some of the normal life things, thankfully.
I mean, yeah, she is old. Like, she's objectively old. I don't know how old she is, but she looks old, so therefore she is old.
Not able to drive long distances. Currently, I can drive, my maximum right now is about 90 minutes, and which to me is quite a tether.
Not being able to drive is a huge tether.
And I don't drive at night now. And that's, I hope to get that back as well, but I'm not able to drive at night. I was able to drive at
All right, but to be clear, that might not be the all right, I don't want to be uncharitable. That might not be the concussion. That just might be you like getting older. I mean, I guess the thing is, so when situations like this happen, where you do have a concussion, right, and things do happen to you, you start to realize stuff that you might have been like ignoring previously. I don't think it's unreasonable that a woman who appears to be as old as her is having difficulty seeing at night. That's kind of the run-of-the-mill norm if you're in your like late 50s, early 60s, right? Unless this woman is like 43 and like I'm completely off here. That is kind of the age where it starts to get a little difficult to drive at night. Personally, I have a nuclear theory that I'm going to share with you right now. I think elderly people should be required to take a second road test after they reach 70. I think every 70-year-old should be able to pass a road test the same as every fucking 18-year-old or 16-year-old when they get their license. And I think there's way too many old people on the road, and they're one of the biggest road dangers. And people are like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What if they won't be able to get around because they can't pass the tests? Well, they shouldn't be on the fucking road then. They should be studying or going to fucking... like, dude, I'm sorry, bro. I don't think that blind old people should be dominating the fucking road, going to country kitchen buffet, running over children at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday afternoon. Right? I think you should have to pass a road test and be fucking viable on the road to continue driving. I don't really care if I'm sorry, your family might have to step it up a little bit and take you to your doctor's appointments, or you might have to try Uber. There's alternatives now, right? I don't think that like these fucking old people who took a test 70 years ago should have their fucking license the same way that a new driver would.
Night, in July, and I am now not able to drive at night.
Apparently everyone agrees with this now. I've had so many people who get like seething mad at me about that, pointing out like, you should respect your elders, Nick. Oh, they fucking passed their test like everybody else. Yeah, I don't care, dude. Fucking Ronald Reagan was president when you passed your road test. How is that applicable right now?
Yeah, so it also is sounding like this has affected you financially. I mean, with medical stuff.
Who is Bunty
Absolutely,
King?
my medical expenses, but also my inability to work. And first, let me just say, I'm so grateful that that I'm not homeless or something, that we've been able to just kind of get by in this circumstance, but I am not able to do the analytical work that was making the money. Like on the platform of Eat Like the Bear, the stuff that I had been doing, I am not able to do.
What does she do on Eat Like a Bear? Like what can she not do right now?
And I haven't been able to do. We are at our poorest that we've been in a very long time, but it is really our worst moment, I would say now. Yeah. And it is directly, absolutely because of getting kicked in the head. I really thought I was going to have brain surgery because my local doctors thought I would. But what happened was...
Wait, my local doctors thought I was going to have brain surgery?
A person?
And then they just didn't?
King?
Nicholas DeOrio?
Was that the local doctors and what they saw, they thought, wow, we need to refer you to a surgeon. And so they referred me to a surgeon at UCSF who then did an analysis and said, nope, this is all about no, you're not going to need surgery, but you do need help with this traumatic brain injury.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh no! What am I gonna do?
Have you ever gone to a doctor before because you had something going on and then they give you like hey, not to alarm you, but these are all the things that it could be, and they give you like the rundown of everything that it could be, and then it turns out that it's something significantly lesser than that, and then you walk out and you're fine, and now you're acutely aware of these things that could have happened to you. That's every doctor's visit, right? So my dad had a had a kidney stone or whatever, or like a kidney stone or like a UTI or something, right? And he goes to a doctor and they say, hey, you might want to see your urologist. There could be something weird going on there. And the urologist comes in and he says, hey, listen, not to alarm you or whatever, but you could be in a position where like this could be related to a kidney stone. This could be related to a UTI. We're going to give you an antibacterial, or this could be fucking kidney cancer. So if you want to run, this is the baseline test that we do here. You can run X, Y, and Z. We're going to shove a camera up your cock or something and see if we see any tumors. We're going to give you a fucking ultrasound or something. And ultimately, if it's a kidney stone, you've now scared the ever-loving shit out of yourself. You're thinking, holy shit, I might have cancer. And then ultimately, none of that has actually occurred. That is what it's like to go to a specialist in America. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like that's just what it's like. So you go to a specialist. You went to like you got your fucking head checked or whatever. You're going to your doctor or whatever, and they said, hey, it could be X, Y, and Z. There could be potentially blood in your brain that we might have to take. Like you might need surgery. You might need brain surgery. We'll see how it goes to go from there. Right? Like that's just. It just sounds like she went to the doctor and was made aware of what's occurring.
For you to a surgeon, and so they referred me to a surgeon.
Where's the camera?
UCSF, who then did an analysis and said, nope, this is all about...
Your dad should have made a video saying he has cancer. True.
No, you're not going to need surgery, but you do need help with this traumatic brain injury. Wow. And so I was referred to a specialized institute at UCSF for traumatic brain injuries. Yes.
They're good.
So you went to it. Okay, so wait, hold on. She literally went to a specialist.
Wow.
And so I was referred to a specialized institute at UCSF for traumatic brain injuries. Yes.
They're good.
And that was a game changer for me. And
like, this is just literally like every single, like I've had tons of people in my family have like a thing. They go to a specialist. That's what they do. They open it up and they give you like, this is the worst case scenario. And we're working our way back from there. Like we're going to check you for the worst thing possible. And if it's not that, we will work our way back. That's how every single time I've seen this, it goes. Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, 18 weeks or something before I would have that appointment, but it was a long journey in getting to that level of care.
You were showing me this really long video that you had made that was you documenting what was happening to you, and I felt like there was really good information in there, and it also was just really heartbreaking to like learn about the whole process and what was going on. And is that video going to be
like, did she tell Mr. Beast that she was seeing a specialist? Like not Mr. Beast himself, obviously, but did she tell Team Beast like, hey, I have a lot of doctor's appointments and stuff over this concussion. I thought it was going a lot chiller than it was, but I've been seeing specialists and they're telling me that I might have fucking brain surgery over this.
Public
like, is this information she's showing? This is why those logs would be super valuable right now, so I can assess how negligent they actually were.
Is that something that
like if she wrote them and said, hey, I almost needed brain surgery. You didn't respond to my previous email. I've had X amount of visits going from this, and this happened on your premises. So is there some kind of way we can reach an agreement here? It would be very like valuable to get back some of the money here for some of these tests, obviously, because this happened to your watch or something. And if they ignore that message, that's brutal, right? That's a brutal thing that they've avoided. But again, I don't know how much she's disclosed here. And it seems like she wasn't really super happy to tell us about it, or it wasn't something that was really at the forefront of her mind, because we only did find out about this after we talked about it like 30 minutes later.
You're going to share? What do you think about that?
I will be making that video public on the Eat Like a Bear channel.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-hour long video. So yes, it's
long. Yeah, it's a movie.
It's long.
She dropped earlier that she was at her poorest. Seems like a smoking gun. But again, I understand that people are upset at her. So I will defend her one last time in this fucking VOD, okay? If she's at her poorest after she's gone to specialists and spent tons of money on this situation that she was unaware would be so costly for her, ultimately, I can understand lashing out and being upset that this occurred at the Beast Games in an event that was supposed to be no contact. I can understand why this woman would be upset that she has now had to go through a year's worth of recovery over a situation that shouldn't have happened in the first place, and she was never even publicly or privately acknowledged in these emails or asked to return back when she clearly is claiming she gave this information to Team Beast. If she's telling the truth and she's explaining charitably what her situation was, I understand why she personally is upset by this. Now, does it reach the levels that Rosanna is trying to make it reach? No, it never does. But this is a human being, so I will treat them as such, despite the fact that Rosanna obviously has a narrative she wants to turn this video into, and it doesn't quite reach that for me. Unless she starts saying some absolutely outrageous stuff in the future, I struggle to see how I'll move past this position, but who knows? There's another few hours of the stream.
It's long, and it actually is mostly shot at a period back in October when I thought I was going to have brain surgery. And so it's a really raw, real video. And my intention in shooting it, I was going through estate planning at that time, as you would do is when you're going to face something like brain surgery. And knowing that I intended to take this to the police and would end up with a lawyer at some point.
She also said she was recovering fine, though. So I don't blame, because I didn't hear that exactly. That's not exactly what she said. We don't know what she said in those messages. And that's why I would need to see those to make a more proper judgment, a proper even defense of her position. Because I don't necessarily just believe it because she said so in a Rosanna Pansino video. But she should have messages that she could show, so that would be an opportune thing to provide in a future video.
To record like the key facts.
It's exactly what she said? Okay, well, we'll go back again.
Yeah.
And if it's not what she said, you'll take a 24-hour vacation.
Things like where the cameras were.
Actually, we're going to do it right now. We're at 1:25. We'll look up recovering. So recovering fine doesn't come up. I'm spelling that correctly, right? Where would I even look for this? Positive. It's positive. Intermiskin, very positive. I'm trying to be positive. So we're again 51:25
on a Monday, and I sent a photo of like the diagnosis to a MrBeast producer, and so I'm sure it went into my profile that I have a concussion. And I spoke to 2 producers that week when they called all the contestants and checked in with them. I spoke to 2 of them and told them about the concussion. And then a couple of days later, I'm going to say it might have been Friday of that week, that one of the producers did ask in about me. She sent me a text, and I said, I'm fine, because at that point, again, I'm thinking,
you're right.
I got another week,
I'm sorry. I apologize. They called her and she explicitly told the team that she was fine.
But I mean,
I missed that. You're right. I'm sorry.
Imagining what is in front of me.
I'm banned.
And trying to be positive.
I'm so banned, folks. I'm so fucking banned.
And I still was so much a super fan.
Okay, so they called her and she said she's fine, and now she's retroactively upset. I apologize. I was wrong. I am so fucking banned. I've become the ban.
Who is Bunty King?
My bad.
Or what kind of information they could get from this
You are
microphone,
100% right,
and
and you are an asset to the show. Whoever I was fighting with, Clarissa, you are an average. You are a asset to the stream. Thank you.
Fact-oriented discussion of all these different things. So it goes into more detail on especially the Briefcase game, my view of the game, and the thing about like my exit medical care, more detail than we've been able to discuss today. But also the Matt Pat story is in there. There's an amazing video at the end where MrBeast and Matt Pat give a shout out to my son. And so there's so much
Dude, what the fuck is going on with Matt Pat, bro?
Lore in that video.
Yeah.
And which makes it, the whole thing is completely heartbreaking. Completely.
Thank you so much for coming over here and sharing your story. And I am so sorry that this has happened to you.
I'm just confused, like, what personally MrBeast did that she'd be upset that she has a video with him now? Like, what exactly is she personally upset about?
In that video.
Yeah.
And which makes it, the whole thing is completely heartbreaking.
I don't, why would that be heartbreaking?
Completely.
Do you think they did this on purpose? Like, they just sent in a linebacker to run you over?
Thank you so much for coming over here and sharing your story. And I am so sorry that this has happened to you. I think people know that
you hit the goal, chat. You guys just earned another goal.
I'm outraged by it, and I just really feel for you. And where can I tell people to...
She said that MrBeast knew the risks and she didn't. Yeah, that's just not true, though. But she's wrong about that. She very clearly, like, knew the... I'm sorry. Like, we pulled it up earlier. But, like, she very clearly had, like... Unless she tunnel visioned it and just ran straight and didn't use any peripheral vision at all. Again, that would still be on her, but she absolutely did know that people would be running in from every angle.
Check you out and like just to look you up, give you some support, send some love your way.
Like, I don't know. And it's like, it's not like she got hit by someone who zigzagged, right? She got hit by someone who was moving forward and then went diagonal. I guess that is zigzagging, but it's not like she got hit from somebody on the left who was bolting from the left. She got hit by somebody who was coming in front of her. Again, we could pull this up, but I'm kind of losing too much time here doing this. I can go all night. I don't really care. MrBeast. New video. Just to show everybody what I'm talking about here, because I've referenced this like a lot. And that we did. It's been like an hour since we've seen it. This is the MrBeast challenge, right? These are the people watching the green team. Correct? They're watching green team, right? Now they're lining up. This is yellow team, but we can watch blue team. Let's go to green team. She's around this point, right? Like they watch from the floor to see these people open the briefcases. And she's just short, so she didn't see it. But when you're lining up, it is very painfully obvious
Who is
that
Bunty King?
You're lining up surrounding a square, and everybody is running into a central area. Like, where's the... Yeah, see, like, this is orange team. Some people are kneeling down watching yellow team. There's pink team watching. Like, I don't buy this from her. She's like, when you look from a bird's eye perspective, you can clearly see. It's just like, no, it seems like a lot of people were able to clearly see what was the challenge. It's not like you didn't know they were coming from every angle. Like, this is the way it's built, right? Across the whole red outskirts are where these 400 people are. The only logical place they could be going is inside. So, what the fuck? Is she bullshitting? Draw lines like a football replay? I don't think I have anything that can do that. But, like, yeah, Here. Okay, this is the best image. Again, it is an overhead view. But are you telling me that, like, you're telling me that X contestant, who's, by the way, there's no one standing behind you. You have full vision of the field. Right? You're telling me that, like, this contestant right here is unable to peripherally see which direction people are coming from? They lack the ability to see all the other bright pink people who are now entering into the challenge? Like, this person is going to go that way. This person is going to go that way. You're unaware that you're running directly into somebody else's path? Like, are you fucking serious? I don't understand what her argument is. This person's going to run this way. These people are running that way. You can see there are other people who are running across. So I don't really... MrBeast didn't rob you of the opportunity. And you pretend you're the smartest person on the entire panel, and they're all running from, like, different directions. You're just not using your peripheral vision. You weren't thinking, and then a guy wasn't looking where he was going, and an unfortunate collision happened. But I don't sue the college when someone runs into me and knocks my books down when I'm running while someone's running through the hallway. And even if I could, I don't know, like, well, this is improper planning. It's just like, yeah, I mean, this happens every day on a college campus. So here she is, okay? She's gonna make this bolt right here, but unfortunately, there was a linebacker from this team who was zigzagging and collided with her right around the podium, causing her to be forced to take this briefcase. Like, unironically, that is the briefcase, just to be clear. That's probably what happened. Like, this is so fucking stupid. She absolutely would know. Not the play I'd go for, yeah, as the most intelligent person. I mean, if we zoom in, she's probably, if I had to guess, she's either like in the corner where the chat is, or by this blue dot. Because she makes a dead bolt run for this in this region right here, and she ultimately does land on that specific one, right? Either that or it's this one. I can't tell from the direction, but it's either this one or that one. Instant replay. The crowd goes wild. Yeah, I mean, this is what we're looking at. Where's the flag on the play? False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, roughing the kicker. Oh, God. Yeah. All right. So where were we? I think we have about like a minute left of this.
We find you.
Well, for our
we got to hear the crazy plug.
weight loss community and our message here on YouTube. It's the Eat Like a Bear channel. And
Eat Like a Bear.
Eat Like a Bear. And that is where you...
Dude, I got to watch the Eat Like a Bear channel and learn about weight loss.
Find that 2-hour-long video.
Oh, good. Okay.
And,
I'll link to that too.
And yeah, find me. There's a website, eatlikeabear.com, where you can kind of just find
Are you
all the
live
resources.
streaming anywhere? When you said you like to go live, what do you like to go live on?
Oh, yeah. No,
I don't care. Oh my God. No, I hit a button. She's crying again. Go back.
Like just a community or long anywhere when you said you like to go live.
All of it. A person?
Okay,
Who is
she's
Bunty
done.
King? Nicholas DeOrio.
That was potentially something. Case in a lot of nothing. Again, even Steven Assrash. Can I talk about this guy for a second? Before we get to the next segment, can I talk about this guy? I absolutely despise Steven Assarch, and I am so fucking mad that Chud Logic has like brought me on a stream to make nice with this guy. Look at this. Can I ask you, outside of the copyright claims and legal threats, which I disagree with, by the way, what exactly did Jake Weddle do wrong? He had something shitty happen to him at MrBeast. That part is undeniable. Well, he couldn't finish his challenge. He left and compared it to a war crime after being paid 10 grand a day. Give me a break. He literally cried and got 50 grand more. He's a footnote being treated like a genuine topic in a story that has real controversy. Maybe it's because I interviewed him with a dozen other individuals who feel hurt or victimized by MrBeast company culture, but I do tend to spare him and his story a bit more empathy. Getting a little close to your story there, Stephen A. Sarch. That certainly has never happened before. Being a bit of a self-insert in this story. Again, once again, Stephen A. Sarch. Getting a little too close to the story again, Stephen A. Sarch. You really asked him what he did wrong so you could plug your own video? That wasn't the plan. It was a happy little accident. Fuck off. Fuck off. This guy showed up to shill his fucking video in my replies. Fucking weirdo. Can I actually ask you a question here? Maybe you should watch my YouTube video. I'll read your article, okay? I don't respect you as a fucking video creator, okay? Never. No. Absolutely not watching that. I do not care. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up. Holy shit. Chud does sweep hard for him. I don't understand. What did Steven Assratch get on him? Is Steven Assratch going to do an article on the 30-year-old he groomed?